walay banig. Pagkatulog, giunlan pa ang sundan, abanseng makalilisan. Alerta Katipunan, ang tuson, ang kalisdanan, dugangan nato ang kaisog, bisag mamatay pa sa panggubatan. Tumong natong ilusog, nasutupson, pugupayon, dali na kita magkikisog, abanseng makalilisan. Alerta Katipunan, sa bukid ang puritanan, dito matagang tawan, nakapoy sa kalawasan. Walay ulan, walay habon, walay banig. Nagtutulog, giunlan pa ang sundan, abanseng makalilisan. Alerta Katipunan, ang tuson, ang kalisdanan, dugangan nato ang kaisog, bisag mamatay pa sa panggubatan. Tumong nato ilusog, nasutupson, pugupayon, dahil nakita magkikisog, abanseng makalilisan. Alerta Katipunan, abanseng makalilisan. Alerta Katipunan, abanseng makalilisan.
Ako si Demokrito Aljon M. Diamante. Nahimong mayor sa Tuburan ni atong 2010 hangtod 2019. Para namo, nga taga-Tuburan, pride yun namo si General Arcadio Maxilom. Dili lang siyang pagka-leader, sa iyang pagka-teacher, kundi siya pagka-isog na naging-bisog para sa tinutanay nga kagawasan na ato ang atong tamang karon.
My girl, my celosa, girl, my celosa, girl, my celosa, girl, my celosa. Sige, kulong ko malabi sa Philippines Cebu. Oh, my celosa, girl, my celosa, girl.
Sa karsada nga mong laagan, di silosan, apil na mga ngalan, napatik sa dalan. Arcadio Maxilom, 𝗔𝗂𝗏𝗶𝗿 𝗔𝗂𝗏𝗆 𝗔𝗂𝗏𝗶𝗏 Andresa Beliana, Bonifacio Aranas, Alejo Mendoza, Francisco F. Llamas, Florencio González, General Luis Flores, Isidro Girondo, Ugang Tres Aliños. Isuding balita, talingped pa, ang Ginoong Cebu Katipunan. Sunod-sunodon, huwag tawag-tawgon, gusto niyang siya ay akong tagdon. Oh mama, 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 girl, maselosa, girl, maselosa, girl, maselosa, girl, maselosa. Sige, kuno ko, I love you, sa bukid namin Cebu. Oh, maselosa, girl, maselosa, girl. Ngayong mag-date ko numi at ugod sa museo. Sige lang siya bagot-bot, puri kaayo. Museo sa Ongera, museo sa Cebu, ug sa 3 de Abril.
Kailangan sa Katipunan.
Ato sa Fort San Pedro, matat sila na kampo. Ato pagod sa Karkar, matay Lord, niandar, ilahang teba ang ginoong Cebu ko para niya. Sunod-sunuron o tagon-tagon, gusto niya siya ay akong tadon. Oh mama, mama, my girl, maselosa, girl, maselosa, girl, maselosa, girl, maselosa. Sige kulog ko galagi sa kong pinangang Cebu. Oh maselosa, girl, maselosa. Ayaw ka balaga, bawas ng putan ka, pareho ka gwapa sa mahal kang yuta. Liwat mo sa kulolo, nga katipunero. Oh baby, go lang ng go, mas forever with you. You girl, ako damgo, ikaw ako subo. You girl, ako gugma, you are my Cebu. You girl, ako damgo, ikaw ako subo. You girl, ako gugma, you are my Cebu. Tumgami tight, DMV. Tumgami tight, tumgami tight, tumgami tight, tumgami tight, tumgami tight. My girl, maselosa, girl, maselosa, girl, maselosa, girl, maselosa. Sige kuno ko galabi sa kong pinangang Cebu. Oh maselosa, girl, maselosa.
History teaches us courage and selfless acts of heroes like that of Jose Rizal or General Gregorio del Pilar. The stories about their fight against superior foreign enemies come across as a rallying cry for people to identify a common nation and love of country. But there are stories too in the regions and localities that should be part of the whole history of the Philippines. In recent years, a surge in research and writing of local histories reintroduced us to local heroes like 𝗠𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏, General Arcadio Maxilom, and others. To many local people, though, they're just names of streets.
Kaila ba kang 𝗠𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 nay?
Wala. Kaya?
𝗠𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Okay la. Ang gitawag niyo din Sanagod Leon Kilat. Pero ako kita taong kakinsa ng tao nga Leon Kilat.
Pamgras, the Cebu Heritage Hotel, wants to connect the locals with their past. We produced music videos, published books in local history, and put the names of local heroes literally on the dining table. In 2018, we assembled a group of kids and tasked them to write a book about 𝗠𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 for children.
I first heard about 𝗠𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 when I was looking for something to read at my house.
My Araling Palipunan teacher was lecturing about the famous people in Cebu, and 𝗠𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 was one of our topics.
I mostly knew 𝗠𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 by name. History-wise, I didn't know much about 𝗠𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
𝗠𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 or Pantaleon Villegas was a Katipunan general who led the Cebuanos' fight against Spain in what we now know as the 1898 Battle of 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏. In the book that we published, history writer 𝗝𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃 wrote that the battle was the crucial spark that turned the tide against the forces of Spain in Cebu.
It was a big victory for the locals because for the first time in history, hindag na mga Kastila.
Like many, Santi Sagayno did not know the story about 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 or other local historical figures for that matter.
Sa nagsebaran ko, parang hindi to masyadong tinuturo ng mga guro kasi sa textbook kasi nila, para bang hindi to nakafocus.
Local history was not taught as a core subject in schools, even before the Philippines implemented the K-12 basic education curriculum in 2016.
Right now, murag na may mga attempts no to focus on local history no nanay although medyo lacking siya gamay, so this book can fill in that gap no.
With the help of our friends established in the fields of heritage advocacy, design, art direction, and storytelling, we mentored the kids to help them create a children's story based on the heroism of 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏.
He cared not only for himself, but because he cared for people in the country, and he loved the country so much, and then he was not scared to fight for the country.
This is a unique case no, of children being told history and then them retelling it, no?
Mas ligon ang condition sa bata kung siya mismo involved siya sa pagpanday sa narrative sa istorya.
When I asked the students what is the most interesting, like magical feature of the story of 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏, and they pointed out the sigbin, how 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 has a sigbin who helped him.
I wanted to add a touch of the supernatural in the story so that little kids would also hear about it.
This particular genre called speculative fiction that includes fantasy, maybe some elements of horror and sci-fi. They really like this kind of genre in the works that they read.
The humans are happy fishing when the aliens, the Spaniards, come to get them.
The artist has to think like a child. But in this case, unique ni siya kay it's the children themselves doing that. Of course, sa nga nga level, ang children think to murag wild kaya ng imagination ba, no? And so that shows sa ilang version sa 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 story. No? So it's a bit wild, nice sci-fi elements, no?
So we were thinking of like sci-fi themes, like Iron Man, Avengers, since that's Avengers inspired one of the writers.
I learned a lot from this experience, mostly about history and my art direction. I have so many people around me to help with this project, and I'm happy to help bring this project to life.
Other kids should read the story because it's very important for us, especially as Cebuanos, to know about our past and how we got our freedom that we now have today.
Whatever effort there is to make students read, entice them with a new kind of story, sci-fi infused story based on a historical figure, can actually make them start reading it. And maybe when they start reading this, what else is there that we can read? And so the demand will start there. And hopefully writers will catch up with the demand.
I think the children will enjoy reading it, and I think they will grow to love 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏.
𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 is like a good example to young kids.
Kailangan di ay nga kita tanan kay magtinabangay ta para ato yung mabuhat ato kung usa tong ganahan.
I admire Leon Quilat for leading the Cebuanos in fighting for our independence.
I'm really happy that I got to work with professionals because I just did art as a hobby.
Mas dali ang transmission sa information kung magtanaw kag pictures.
I think ang ultimate importance sa history is the sense of narrative, the sense of wonder.
There are a limited number of writers who focus on, let's say, children's stories or children's books or even YA.
Mga saata bituon sa langit, mikislap mitanag sa kangit-ngit, katamis taliwala sa kapait, mitunaw sa tik-ang kasing-kasing, nanumpada kung kuyog tang Tuhan, gugmang gamhanan makahimo sa tanan, misada kung kitang duha kauban, malatas na to ang layong kadagatan, mapatag ang habog na kabukiran, mausapan ng sa kalibutan, hangtod kanu sa matahong, kining akong dughan, ang akong kamot imong gihawiran, dungan na tong bag-o ng kalibutan, punon sa kahoy ang napuunasan, pabulakon ang nalayang tanaman, misatan kung kitang duha kauban, malatas na to ang layong kadagatan, mapatag ang hapong na kabukiran, mausapan ng sa kalibutan, hangtod kanu sa matahong, kining akong dughan, mibanos ang katugnaw di maatos, at lamisalok sa imong paglakaw, makulak bangkod sa hangtod, sa kahangturan.
They say looks can be deceiving. At first glance, I thought you were not much to look at. All icing, no cake, all steam, not much brew. But the night air sings of fulfilling ancient dreams. The moon whispers of tenderness for the smallest of them, for the unheard, the unseen. And as the sun breaks through our heroes' memories, your blinding smile hits my heart, like the warrior's blade, like 𝗝𝗄𝗄𝗄𝗆 spear. But the far seas beckon you. The memories on these walls try to soothe the pain of parting. I seek for your warmth, but only these sheets comfort me. My tears are salt water flowing to bridge the seas and islands that divide us. The stars listen to my sighs as I look for you in the skies. And now you're here. Our love blazes like the fire of our heroes' revolution. Our hearts entwined is such sweet victory. Parable, like the journey of our people, like the richness of our culture.
Palmgrass has a mission of unearthing and preserving Cebuano culture and heritage. This is the reason why we keep our Cebuano heroes alive by dedicating our bestseller dishes in honor of them. 𝗝𝗿𝗶𝗃𝗃𝗏 Maxilom, one of Palmgrass bestseller dishes named in honor of Cebu hero General Arcadio Maxilom. 𝗝𝗿𝗶𝗃 is a pork dish with Spanish and Chinese influence. It is the Cebuano version of adobo. An adobo is a term with Spanish origin, adobar, which means to marinate in vinegar, salt, garlic, and pepper. Cebu also had pre-colonial trade with the Chinese, and the Chinese influence in the 𝗝𝗿𝗶𝗃 can be seen in the use of fermented black beans and its sweet taste. The soy sauce also has Chinese origin. Other ingredients are the onions, azucenas, and bananas. Onions are a common ingredient of Spanish cuisine. So the wok or caja used in cooking the 𝗝𝗿𝗶𝗃 also is of Chinese origin. The meat is simmered over low fire to soften it. So some say 𝗝𝗿𝗶𝗃 means humuk, and baboy or pork. So it's humuk na baboy or soft pork. We named this dish in honor of Cebu hero General Arcadio Maxilom, who led the Cebu Revolution to victory. We present to you 𝗝𝗿𝗶𝗃 Maxilom, a dish as tasty as Cebu's victory against its colonizer.
O Pilipinas, tawhan ning kinabuhi ko akong itugyan ning kasing-kasing ko perme lang gasubo tungod sa gobyerno nga dili pa ato kinsa pa
Ining maong awit, nagsugiro sa pakigbisod alang sa kagawasan sa atong mga Cebuanong revolusyonaryo. Ang sudlon o ang ilang tinago nga kampo, patok sa mga sumasakop ng Katsila o Amerikano. Naginaot ko nga ang atong mga batan karon, maminaw nini para ilang mangguhan nga ang ilang problema dili lang ilaha, kundi shared na problem kini. Diin ang hinahanglan og shared nga kasubaran alang sa kayuhan sa katilingbanong Pilipino.
dili kita mo oner niya ng taong malupikon na maoy nagbalikya sa atong nasyon.
Oh, Pilipinas, yuta kong natawhan ning kinabuhi ko akong itugyan ning kasing-kasing ko pirmi lang gasubo tungod sa gobyerno nga dili pa ato. Tala na mga igsuon, mamauli na kita nga to sa sudlon. Dili kita muner sa mga taong malupigon nga maoy nagbaligya sa atong nasyon.
Kinsa bakahang dili mabalaka, kinsa bakahang way amor sa patriya, kinsa bakahang dili mabalaka nga wala hatagi sa independensya.
Ning kasing-kasing ko pirmi lang gasubo tungod sa gobyerno nga dili pa ato. Tala na mga igsuon, mamauli na kita nga to sa sudlon. Dili kita unen sa mga taong malupigon nga maoy nagbaligya, nga maoy nagbaligya. Tala na mga igsuon, mamauli na kita nga to sa sudlon. Dili kita muner sa mga taong malupigon nga maoy nagbaligya sa atong nasyon.
Pilipinas, Pilipinas, oh Pilipinas.
Malipayong pagsaulog sa usa ka gatos ug kaliman og siyam ka tuig nga kasumaran sa adlaw nga tawhan sa bayani sa Sugbo nga si General Arcadio Maxilom. Happy 159th birthday to Cebu hero General Arcadio Maxilom. PAMGRAS, the Cebu Heritage Hotel, in partnership with the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, the National Quincentennial Committee, the Cebu Normal University Elite or Literature Society, the University of San Carlos Political Science Department, the University of San Carlos Carolinian Political Science Society, the University of San Carlos Law and Governance, University of San Carlos Palabra, Museo Sugbo, or the Cebu Provincial Museum, the Central Visayas Association of Museums, the Yandi Heritage Center, and so on 2020 Incorporated, celebrate with you today in this hybrid event, celebrating the birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom, Maisog, the last warrior standing, celebrating General Arcadio Maxilom at 159 and the 500 years of Cebuano heroism. Daghang salamat everyone. I'm sure we're going to have another fun event this afternoon with this very important celebration of the birthday of Cebu hero, General Arcadio Maxilom. Of course, many of us only know him as a street in Cebu, the General General Maxilom Avenue, and formerly the Mango Avenue, but only a few know about his heroism. That's why today we made it a point, every day, every November 13, every November actually, we celebrate General Arcadio Maxilom's birthday. So this year, so this is our celebration, even with the pandemic, we have this hybrid event. So we're very happy that we have with us this afternoon physical audience, especially from the Kulturang Sugbuanon, from the veterans of descendants of veterans from the World War II. And of course, we have also from the Carolinian Political Science Society. And we also have with us on Facebook Live at the National Quincentennial Committee page, we have Darwin, we have Edsel. So Darwin is from 𝗍𝗏𝗄𝐻, from the San Sebastian School of Science City of Muñoz, 𝗍𝗏𝗄𝐻. Idel from Iloilo City, Maymalen from Cavite, Laguna, Nerissa City, Christine, and of course we have the the head of the Secretariat of the National Quincentennial Committee, Ian Alfonso. Thank you for watching. We have Ferdinand Ascaraga. Thank you, and also we have Andy from the PAMGRAS, the Cebu Heritage Hotel page, and we also have right now the descendants of General Arcadio Maxilom. So we have Teresita Maxilom Sison with company. Daghang salamat for being with us. We're so excited that we are celebrating today the birthday of a very fierce warrior, General Arcadio Maxilom. And of course, we have our special guest this afternoon who will also read to us the biography of General Maxilom. We will show him in a while. So we are celebrating this month. So this month and this year is a month and a year of many celebrations. This month is a celebration of the National Children's Month. So of course this is to promote the children's rights amidst the pandemic, and of course we also celebrate the 500 years of the first circumnavigation of the world in which Cebu was a part, the 500 years of the victory at Mactan, and the 500 years of the arrival of Christianity in our islands, which is now known as the Philippines. And of course, this year has been declared as the year of our pre-colonial ancestors. So of course, our events every month always celebrate our pre-colonial ancestors. Like last month, we had an event on the Visayan folklore, and also next week, 2 weeks from now, we will be having an exhibit on the traditional blades in our islands, and also how our Visayan warriors survived in forest. There is actually a live workshop that will happen 2 weeks from now. So watch out for it. And we are, of course, celebrating the birthday. So this month is the birthday. We have heroes celebrating birthdays this month. The 159th birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom, and also the 158th birthday of hero Andres Bonifacio. So General Maxilom is 1 year older than Andres Bonifacio. So we thank our partners that made this event happen. So that supported us in this event. The National Historical Commission of the Philippines, the National Quincentennial Committee, USC Pol-Sci Department, the USC Carolinian Political Science Society, USC Law and Governance, USC Palabra, Museo Cebu, CNU Elite Society, CVAM, the Yandi Heritage Center, and so on 2020. So you are also watching this Facebook Live event in the pages of our partners like the NQC and the Political Science Society, so on 2020. So thank you everyone who is watching and who is joining us, to everyone who is joining us in our celebration today. So we also want to recognize our participants. We have our live audience right now. So thank you for being with us. And of course, we feel safe because of course you are vaccinated and fully vaccinated. Thank you very much. And so we also have our air purifier with HEPA filter, and even with that, you are all using your masks. So everyone is in face mask except me and the one who would talk in a while. So thank you to our online participants, to those who registered online, to those who said that they come from the Cebu Normal University, from the Department of Education, or someone also registered from the Department of Education. So we have also someone from Pan Pacific University or DENETA, from DepEd Cebu City, from PhilFIDA Region 7. So this is the Fiber Development Authority. Someone from UP Diliman, someone from University of the Visayas, from the Knights of Columbus San Nicolas Council, from the University of San Carlos, from the City of Bugo Science and Arts Academy, Arellano University, Philippine Medical Association. So even the doctors want to know about General Arcadio Maxilom. Thank you very much. From someone from the Cebu Technological University, and also from Cebu. So that's all. So for those who are here, we would like to. So we have the descendants of General Arcadio Maxilom. Thank you very much. So now we would like to hear a message from the a descendant or a relative of General Arcadio Maxilom from Tuburan. So we would like to give you the message from the municipal mayor of Tuburan, Honorable Danilo Diamante. And here is his message.
Señor Arcadio Maxilom, nagtako nagtubo sa Tuburan, nahimo usa ka magtutudlo, usa na abot na nahimo usa ka katipunero. Nahimo siyang pangulo sa mga katipuneros, nahimo siyang usa ka general no nitong 1898 sa pagkawala na ni General Leon Quilat. So nahimong ganyo importante siya sa among mga sa mga Tuburano. Nahimo siyang instrumento sa kausaban o ibon man kagawasan sa atong mga kaigsunan. Labi na gyud o ingon usab dako na tong karbo sa mga Pilipino ug man sa Subo kay lumad siya na taga.
So daghang salamat to Mayor Diamante for celebrating with us the birthday of our hero, General Arcadio Maxilom. And of course, we are so proud of this fierce warrior who comes from Tuburan. And of course, you must have been to Tuburan. Tuburan is a very beautiful place with majestic mountains and beautiful waterfalls and strong coffee. with so of course I learned a story, the legend, one version of the legend of Tuburan. Why is Tuburan named Tuburan? So the story was, a long time ago, there were 7 beautiful sisters who lived in Tuburan. But then their lovers, I mean their loved ones, the one they love, their husbands bato or their boyfriends, left Tuburan to go to China to, for trading, and the loved ones, the boyfriends or the husbands did not come back. So the beautiful sisters were crying. They were crying so hard, and then so their tears were falling, and the tears became the waterfalls. So ang tubod, nahimong tubod, maong nahimong tuburan. So, so that's one of the versions of the story of Tuburan. So now, we would like to sing, we would like to greet our hero, General Arcadio Maxilom, with this birthday song. Of course, this is now a modern song. Can we play? Can the descendant of General Maxilom sing the song? Teresita, the singer. So Miss Teresita is actually a singer. Can we give her a microphone, or can you play the music? So we have our tablia cake. So the tablia cake is a bestseller cake, and it is as sweet as General Maxilom's love for the country, and that's why we have a so who will blow the candle of this cake? Wala man si Maxilom. Wala. So we cannot see it. Can our audience see it? So dili, there is a camera. So the cake should be seen. So can we see, can you play the song? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
Can you show the audience?
to you.
Can you show the audience?
Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Can you show the
to
audience?
you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy 159th birthday.
159th birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom.
Oh, ako na yung blow. Sige na. Happy 159. So, daghang salamat for that tablia cake. It is a very yummy cake. So it is for our hero, General Arcadio Maxilom, for his 159th birthday. So of course you have seen you have heard the beautiful voice of General Maxilom's descendant, Teresita Maxilom Sison. So now, so di na ta maglangan, we would like to introduce to you, we will have exciting conversations this afternoon about the life, the heroism, the life, the heroism of General Arcadio Maxilom with our panelists. First, we would like to introduce to you a relative of General Arcadio Maxilom. She is an author of a book on Cebu history, and she is a New York-based journalist. Please help me welcome the beautiful Maribir Montibon.
Hello. Maayong hapon, Cebu. And maayong hapon, Miss Caridad Givilondo. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor to be here to celebrate with you the 159th birthday of our Lolo, Arcadio Maxilom. I'm so honored to be here.
Daghang salamat, Maribir. So, we would like to fix our. Do we have a problem with the connection right now? Can you see those on Facebook Live have also not seen the koan? So, Maribir, we would like you to check your connection there in New York. So we have also this afternoon we also have someone who has studied about the young revolutionaries in the Spanish and anti-Spanish revolution and in the war against the United States, and those under General Arcadio Maxilom. He has studied on Visayas and the cultures of Visayas and Mindanao. He took his master's in history at the University of the Philippines, Diliman, and he's currently working on his doctoral on history still at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. Please help me welcome the faculty history professor of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, Professor Jeffrey Asuncion.
Mayong hapon sa atong tanan. I'm Jeffrey Asuncion and I'm Cebuano at heart, no? Nagdako man ko sa lahog no? So I really love Cebu and hope to go back there.
Daghang salamat, Professor Jeffrey. Of course, Professor Jeffrey, you have seen him here, but then we actually have the conversations with him recorded because he has also another event right now. So you can only ask questions right now for our panelist, Marivir, and also if you can catch up with our next resource person. So we would like to introduce to you our live resource person who is physically present on site. So we are very excited to introduce to you once again our Suki resource person, our go-to person whenever we have questions about history, about Cebu history and history of the Philippines and history of the world and history of anything. So he is a consultant of the Cebu Provincial. He is a consultant of the Cebu Provincial Government, and he is the director of the University of San Carlos Museum. He is a social historian and an archaeologist. Please help me welcome Dr. 𝗝𝗿𝗶𝗃𝗶. So you will only see him right now. So he is physically distanced, but he is on site here. We're so happy that he is here with us. So you will watch out for his reading of the biography of General Arcadio Maxilom, which is in the collection or in the papers of Senator Vicente Rama. You will be listening to the writings in a 100-year-old document. So it's nearly 100-year-old document that is now at the Museo Sugbo, and we will be privileged to listen to it, what the contents, to watch or to listen to the reading by Dr. 𝗏𝗿𝗶𝗃𝗶. It is written in Spanish, but he will translate it for us into English. So this is also a translation afternoon. So we also are happy that we have a reactor, and also on site we have our partner, the University of San Carlos Political Science Department. We have with us the Community Extension Services Coordinator. Please help me welcome Melissa Lagat. So beside Dr. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is Melissa. So they are all in masks. They will take off their masks when it's their time to talk. So daghang salamat. So for those of you who have questions, so you should, if you have questions for Dr. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, you should give your questions already so that he can answer it, because he is very busy. So he has so many engagements. He has events every hour. So so you should give your questions while he's still here. So right now we also have one of our highlights of our event today is the tribute of our poets, our artists, our young artists, or our Cebuano artists for our hero General Arcadio Maxilom in the spoken poetry contest. In our spoken poetry contest, we have our judge. So we would like to introduce to you the judge of our spoken poetry contest. She is a multi-awarded poet. She is the editor of 𝗝𝗲𝗃𝗶𝗃 Poetry Folio of Spoken Word Philippines, and she is also an assistant professor at the University of San Carlos, the Department of Linguistics and Literature of the University of San Carlos. Please help me welcome the talented Miss Cindy Velasquez, Professor Cindy Velasquez.
Thank you, maayong hapon naton tanan, and I hope you can join us later for our event, particularly for the contest. So please stay and enjoy. Thank you.
Daghang salamat, Professor Cindy. So we're very happy that everyone, all talents are being contributed and are being offered to honor our hero, General Arcadio Maxilom. So of course, we have about 9 contestants in our spoken poetry. Are the contestants already here? So who are the contestants that are already here? So shy sila. So surprise na lang kuno. So so now we would also like you to watch out for our another highlight, the trivia quiz, wherein you will be able to win the meal sets with the 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃 Maxilom, our bestseller dishes. And of course also there are about 10 followers of, there are many followers of 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 who said that they are sad, and we want to make them happy during the birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom. So we are going to have a raffle of all those names who are sad, who tag 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 that they are sad. So they are going to win hilot binisaya. Two of them would win a foot massage, and one of them will win a full body massage with hilot binisaya, because they are sad and they tag 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 to help them be happy. So watch out for it. We have a raffle. So right now, before we will start, so actually I know you already want to listen to join our conversations with our panelists. But before that, we would like to present to you once again this song that we launched during the birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom in 2018. So we launched this November 2018, and this song also mentions General Arcadio Maxilom. So we launched this in the 𝗝𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏, that was as an event celebrating the birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom. And this song has now 900,000 views on YouTube. And we want you to like it and view it at the YouTube account of Panelists, the Cebu Heritage Hotel, for you to add to, so that this can reach 1 million views as our offering to our heroes. So this is the song, Kuyugi Ko.
Uy, kuyugi ko, nganong di man ka, kuyugin ako, bisan dili ko gwapa, kahibalo ko, mustuya sa kaagi sa una, sa mga bayani, nagigira lang para sa kuma. Isumutasma, andam mo away mamatay, unsa ko pa manggiatay. Kuyugi lagi ko, di man kumamugos, kuyugang muka ko sa kagahapon ni humabon. Kuyugi lagi ko, di man kumamugos, kuyugang muka ko sa kalayo natupas. Andang daw pa ng subo para malikawas kuyog nimo. Magkuyog na ta, pagdali na diha, ngano di ay, ngano di man kaganahan. flores sa Arcadio isugmutasman handa mo away mamatay ulipon sa gugmay 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Yogi lagi ko, man kumamukos Kuyugang mukha ko sa kagahapon ni Baba Yogi lagi ko, man kumamukos Kuyugang mukha ko sa kalayo ni Pupas Ang damdaw ba ng subon Para malingkawas kuyog ni mo Di ko ni mo kuyukan Imuntik kang talawan Di nakakatilaw Sa humba o kinilaw Kuyog lagi ko Di man kumamugos Kuyog ang mukha ko sa kagahapon ni Baba Kuyog lagi ko Di man kumamugos Kuyog ang mukha ko sa kalayo ni Tupas Ang damdaw ba ng subon Para malingkawas Kuyog ni mo Kuyog ni mo Kuyog ni mo
Daghang salamat for that song. So that song is performed by Jerlyn Abanyo with music by Jeff Escarda, and also the words are by Agripina Givelondo, and that's me. So of course, what is the motivation of our heroes in their fight? So of course, it's only love, right? So because of they are crazily in love with the country, with Cebu. That's why they fought for the people. So of course, we also thank everyone who has watched that video over the Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel account. So, and it's also that song Kuyugi Ko is also part of the 𝗝𝗏𝗃𝗶𝗃 play, and we have our performers here from the 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃 of the 𝗝𝗏𝗃𝗶𝗃 play, and that song is part of it, and it's also part of the album 𝗝𝗏𝗃𝗶𝗃, Songs of Love, History, and War. So thank you very much to everyone watching. Raul watching in his store, and he will catch up physically later. Mayet, Tabla from CNU Elite Society, Yvonne Lim, Dretchel, Regine from Regine Lakibol, and she says, hello, Sir Jobbers, Miss Melissa, and CPSS members. So, and then we have also from the National Quincentennial Committee page, we have Francis from Davao del Norte, Silda from Bulacan, Shole, and Ferdinand says humba ni Arcadio Maxilom. So now we will now have our conversations with our panelists, and as we go along, you can ask your questions. If you have a question for Professor Jeffrey, he cannot answer it, but Dr. Jobbers will answer it while he is still here. So you should ask your questions while he is still here. And then, of course, so this is, we have from the History Department, History Division of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. We're so glad, but even if he is in Los Baños, his study is about Cebu, because of course he is a Cebuano at heart, because he grew up in Cebu, and he studied in University of San Carlos grade school. So we have Professor Jeffrey would like to ask Professor Jeffrey regarding the youth, because of course General Maxilom had young revolutionaries under him, and how were the Cebu youth involved in the 1898 anti-Spanish Revolution?
Okay, yes, the Cebuano youth were involved, no, in the 1898 stage of the Philippine Revolution, anti-Spanish Revolution. Among them were actively participants, no? So one of them was by Batalyon Leon Quilat Villegas, no? Poderos during 3 de Abril. The second one was the youthful Caviteño named Pantaleon del Rosario, who was sent by the government of President Rinaldo as a commissioner to cement ties with the Cebuanos. So, sharing my slide here is a no, of Pantaleon Villegas, also known by his nom de guerre, Leon Quilat. So, who is Leon Quilat, no? He was a Negros-born revolutionary leader of Cebu. He was a native of Bacong in what is now Negros Oriental. And he was youthful, no? He was around 25 years old when he led the Manggugubot, or revolutionaries, in their attack on the Spaniards, no? Including in Fort San Pedro on April 3, 1898. So probably there are other youth, no, during the revolution, but the documents are not easily accessible at the moment. So here are the two more important, no, Cebuanos or youth, no.
Daghang salamat, Professor Jeffrey. Thank you for that explanation regarding the involvement of the youth. And of course, you will know more about those who fought in the Battle of 3 de Abril and even in the war against the Americans in the books that we have here at Basahanan ni Lumaya. And one of these books is this book, The Arenas of Conspiracy and Rebellion. And this is we have bio sketches of those who fought in the Battle of 3 de Abril, the Manggugubot. So in Bisaya, gubot is trouble. What is gubot in Bisaya? Manggugubot are troublemakers. So they were called Manggugubot. The revolutionaries were called Manggugubot because of course they created trouble for the Spaniards, against the Spaniards. So now we would also like to ask Professor Jeffrey regarding the young revolutionaries' involvement in the Philippine-American War in Cebu.
Okay, thank you for that question. Revolutionaries, the young Cebuanos were involved, no? For one, they served as enlisted men in the Cebuano army led by General Arcadio Maxilom, no? So based from the few available data, so Dr. Rasil Mojares had said the core of Maxilom's army were generally young men. So how young were they, no? So depending on the unit's roster or lineup, the average age of the enlisted men were from 23 to 28 years old, no? So it's around in their 20s. But probably there could be around in their teens. And furthermore, youthful revolutionaries like Andres Jaime, Angel Libre, Tomas Alonso, and Arsenio Climaco held positions in the Republican Army in Cebu during the war against the Norte Americanos, as the Americans were then called, no? So, in the case of Cebu, the participation of these youthful revolutionaries reflected the participation also in the rest of the country of young people, no, in the struggle against. So there were others, no, like Gregorio del Pilar and Manuel Tino in Luzon. So how youthful or how young? So we could say they were around in their teens and their 20s, no? So around 30s, they could be around more mature. So like that.
Daghang salamat, Professor Jeffrey. Of course, the young people are out to change the world. That's why they say the future, the youth is our future, because of course the future leaders of our country are the youth, and those who are young and young at heart always want to change society. So of course, that's why we admire General Arcadio Maxilom. He's nearly youth actually, because he was about 36. He was 36 during the revolution. If he were 35, he would still be considered as a young person. So, or someone part of the youth. Andres Bonifacio was part of the youth. He was a year younger than General Arcadio Maxilom. So now we would like to ask Professor Jeffrey to elaborate on the leadership of General Maxilom in the revolution against Spain, and also in the war against the Americans.
Okay, thank you again. Arcadio Maxilom, our General Arcadio Maxilom, started out participating in the revolution in 1898. So for one, he had joined 𝗲𝗂𝗂𝗏𝗃 during the 𝗓𝗲𝗃𝗏𝗃 events, skirmishes. Then, after those events, he had organized the revolutionary army in the town of Tuburan, his hometown, in 1898. And then after that, he allowed revolutionaries like Nicolas Godines expand their influence in Tuburan, in Balamban, Asturias, and even in Dumanhog. Now, going back to Tuburan, he and Tibbs fought in that battle, in the Battle of Tuburan, where his brother and 7 cousins were killed. So the Kachilas, or the Spaniards, had bombed and burned the town. I presume this is that the town center was burned by the Spaniards during that battle. And then later on, with the withdrawal and disappearance of Spanish hegemony or Spanish rule, Arcadio Maxilom was elected as Consular of Police to the first Filipino provincial government in Cebu. This provincial government was formed with the departure of the Spaniards, and Luis Flores was elected as the governor, the first Filipino governor of Cebu.
Daghang salamat, Professor Jeffrey. Of course, we would know more about that, about the role of General Arcadio Maxilom, especially in the war against the Americans, I guess in the biography of General Arcadio Maxilom, and also in the discussion of a relative of General Arcadio Maxilom, Marivir Montibon. So we would like to recognize those who are watching, Nelian watching Sky Pantinople in Mandaue, Nelian, and she says, it's amazing how these activities are organized amidst the pandemic. We would like to say maayong hapon to Michelle. To those who are watching, put hashtag Maisog. Of course, Maisog means brave. It is a Cebuano word, a Visayan word, which means brave. We can say isog, but Maisog is also a Cebuano word. And then we also have Ferdinand Pagao from Paaralan ng Lungsod ng Taguig at Bayan ng Pateros. Thank you, Ferdinand Pagao, for always joining us in our events. And also, now we would like to ask, we would now like to ask from New York. I hope that the visuals are already okay. So can we already see her? So we have an author on Cebu history. She is a New York-based journalist, also someone who is fighting for change, who has fought for change and still fighting for change because she is young and young at heart. Can we see her?
It's so funny.
Marivir, we have a problem actually with your visuals.
Uh-oh.
Is it sa atong side? Is it at our side? It's okay?
It can't be shown.
You cannot be seen. You are like a ghost. Ingon si kuan. Ingon si jobbers kay. You're like a ghost in Christmas past, So even
So
if
they can hear my
you,
voice?
you can still talk, Marivir, and we can still also show your slide actually later when you will have your slide. So we would like to ask you about who is Arcadio Maxilom according to history.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's not my slide. I hope you will be able to. Okay, Arcadio Maxilom was the like the second liner to Pantaleon Villegas. Pagkamatay ni Pantaleon Villegas on April 8, 1898, dito man siya gipatay sa Karkar. It was Arcadio Maxilom who took over the leadership of the local Katipunan. And he's from Tuburan. Unya, dako kayo ning Maxilom nga kaning clan. And I wish we could see the entire family tree nga gihimo sa among lolo nga ni pass away in 2000, because this gave us the visual kung asa may dapit. Pananglitan ako, my father is Anastasio Maxilom Montebon. And nung katong high school ko, magsige man taglabay din ha sa General Maxilom Avenue kas diha man ko nag-eskwela sa Immaculada. So I said, my dad is a Maxilom. So one time nangutan ako unsa man nimo si General Maxilom dade. So the story began. He told me the story nga si General Maxilom was his great uncle. Kay dako man kay ng family sa Maxilom, but the first to arrive in Tuburan were the couple Isidoro Alombro and Lucrecia de Lastima. Pero ang
Martin, would
ngalan,
you like to show already your slide of that family tree of the Maxiloms?
yeah, I don't have a control of that.
Yes, we can show it.
Okay.
The family tree visual aid.
Yeah, you can start in the first and then second, so I can give a continuity to it. Awesome. There, thank you. So it's a sketchy past. So that's me, katong niwang pa ko, sometime in 206, I think, or 204. I was doing research in Tuburan for the Ramon Aboitiz Foundation on women entrepreneurs. So nihunong mi din ha sa statua ni Lolo Cadio, kay ko ako man ang lolo, so pa picture. So that's the history, and I was proud and beaming kay I am a descendant of him. So next slide, please. Now this is the Maxilom family tree, which is in the residence of Lolo Lidio Maxilom. He's actually the hero of the family, because if you see this is an 8th generation record of my lineage. So dinhi sa kinaubsan, you will see ang pangalan ni Lucrecia ug ni Isidoro. Mo ni sila ang first generation. And kaning mga branch din magtanaw ganay may unsa man ka nga branch. Ako nako sa branch ni Martino, the first son. And then dako kay to ilang pamilya, there were 9 siblings, dunay triplets. Unya followed by boy, girl, and all that. And the bunso, where General Maxilom came from, is from the branch of Roberto. And naapo ni siya kaluha nga Roberta. In this dako kay ni siya nga billboard. If you see this in personally dito sa balay, you will be astounded kay pino na kaayo ang mga names ni ani. And I really salute Lolo Lidio for doing this kay 8 generations na ni. And in this research, I'd like to thank mga cousin si Lourdes Nakar nga naa diri sa New Jersey nga nagkita mi tungod ni ining family tree nga nigawa sa Facebook, and then ni Ate Lilith and ni Francis Abelgas, who is an editor and was my colleague at the Freeman before. So next slide. Oh, I saw my name there. Di ay sa dako kay nga tree. So this is Lidio Maxilom Sr. He's the man who created the family tree. He showed us our roots and the way to honor our forebears. So he married Filomena Brigule, and he is the son of Jeremias. This is not Remigias, sorry, it's my bad. So he is Tancadio's younger brother. So pag umangko ni si Lolo Lidio ni General Maxilom. It was so unfortunate when I made my first book, ni adto gyud ko and my uncle, my late uncle Romulo Maxilom Montebon, introduced me to him para interviewon, but at that time dili na siya makasulti because I guess he had a stroke and he couldn't talk anymore. So guol kaayo to. I felt so bad nga di na mi maka-communicate unya, muluha na iyang mata kay dili naman siya makatubag sa akong pangutana. And it felt like there was a huge wall and I wasted time nga wala ko dayon nihimo sa research nako. But I honor and I salute him as much as I salute General Maxilom. Next slide, please. So kini mo ni ang tree again, and then gihimuan pa gid ni legend. The first generation, pila na lang nakabook na hibilin. At that time it was made 9, and then I belong to the 5th kaning color-coded blue. But I am 5th gikan sa ni Martino, gikan sa akong great-great-grandfather. If we count the couple from Bohol nga si Lolo Isidro ug si Lola Lucrecia, my generation is 6. Now, pasalamat sad ko ani ni Lourdes again, and the granddaughter Lourdes is the granddaughter of Felisa Maxilom Timog, who is the daughter of Tancadjo of the Roberto Maxilom branch. Branch kayo. And then family tree, I encourage everyone nga maghimo unta og family tree because it is a way to preserve and remember our heritage, our family, and our expanding clan. It is a way for us to retrace our roots and honor our ancestors on whose shoulders we stand on, definitely, whether we are conscious or unconscious of it. So next slide, please. So this is the page of my book na ay mga picture. That's me as a baby. Mo ni akong lola, si Jacinta Maxilom Montebon. Now, si Lola, the mother of my father, is the daughter of 𝗤𝗏𝗄 Maxilom. Anak ni siya ni Martino. And so it's so amazing nga magsumpay-sumpay ka kung asa na taas na kainyong roots. And then 𝗤𝗏𝗄 married Inés J. And so from Lucrecia de la Stima, Isidoro Alombro, second generation, Martino, here are the names. Salome, Concepcion, Guadalupe are triplets. Mateo, Claudio, Asuncion, and the youngest are Roberto and Roberta, twins. Dinhi parent ni Arcadio Maxilom. Now, the 4th generation on my side, mo na si Lola Inta, we call her, and si Lolo Ikil, ilado ni si Lolo Ikil in Tuburan because he is the town photographer. So, ang nakaila na sila ni Manoy Ikil, si Lolo Ikil. And Lolo Ikil had 9 children, and one of them is my father, who just recently passed away last June. And so nakita na ko iyang name dito, niya naa po dito, naminyo siya ni Mami. So I can, grabe ang research ni Lidio Maxilom. He was so detailed. Ug niabot pa gid ako nga dinha sa dako kay nga tree, ma-revere og ang akong tulo ka igsuon. So it's amazing to see that like I'm there. It feels good. So next slide, please. And so the biography of Arcadio Maxilom, there was something written by Lidio, his niece, about him. Unya nakuha ni nako sa files ni Arden et Neruel Maxilom diha sa Facebook. We have a Maxilom clan Facebook page. And so naa din binisaya ni siya nga unsa si Maxilom, kasagaran nga tawo, meaning middle class. Unya he was a fast learner, a quick learner. Unya, kuan siya kanang natural siya nga leader. Mugawas iyang pagka-leader even at the time when he was small, magdula-dula gani ng mga bata. He will naturally emerge as somebody who leads the group, organizes, and does things and delegates to people. So, mo ni din ang sulat ni Lolo Lidio about Arcadio. And next slide, please. And so this is my book. My first book was published in 2000, and At that time, 1998, I worked on this for 2 years. This is just a compilation of the 2-year celebration of the 100 years of Philippine independence from Spain. So at that time in Cebu, I was a journalist. I was working with a Freeman. Daghan kaayo ang mga celebrations nga makakuha ka very rich looking at our past. So I would remember I interviewed mga centenarians, nga mga babayi, they remember how it was 100 years ago. And there was a lot of stage plays being put out by Ayala and San Miguel, diha sa Ayala Mall. And it was directed by Lucien Letaba and all the other actors and artists, mga cultural workers. So very inspiring. So I decided to create this book. And of course, akong gi-appeal si General Maxilom, kaya ako ito siyang lolo. And I was always astounded by how my father and uncle told me stories about them. So I'll just go to, nahuman naman akong sulti ang second generation.
Yes.
Si Arcadio had brothers, si Nemesio, Samuel, Jeremias, si Nemesio and Samuel died during the American War. And si Kapitan Cadio was imprisoned. And then eventually ni surrender siya sa puwersa sa Amerikano. I will go into details on that. And then sa fourth generation, Maxilom had 2 wives. I'm sorry, but I could not give you a narrative kung naunsa ang iyang first wife, mao si Florentina Aliego, unya na sila'y anak nga si Emiliano Maxilom. And then he married again. Conrado ilang anak, Veronica, Feliza, and Pasencia. Pasencia died nga kanang gamay pa, baby pa. So Lourdes Nacar, whom I've been constantly talking to, is the granddaughter of Feliza. And Feliza helped Lulu Lidio create the tree. Makahinumdum, ila dayon isulat. And so the second wife of Tancajo was Seriaca Novicio. Okay, so next slide, please. Now, sketchy memories gyud ang kang Lolo Kadyo kay for example si Wilma Maxilom Reyes. Remember, I made my book 21 years ago, so I am not sure if they're still around. And so musulti ni siya nga he was a natural leader, and si Lula Camila who was already 77 when I spoke with her, would also remember him as a very kind-hearted and giving person. Also, Nemesio Maxilom, who's also the son of Conrado, would remember pasa-pasa rapot nga istorya from their parents how he was a very cool-headed guy. Dili siya isog ra siya sa gubat. But at home, he is a very gentle person. That's what they told me. So next slide, please. And so this, I just put out all these pictures because very precious akong regard ani nga we have pictures of my very huge family. And so the middle woman, the third from the left, right, is Feliza Maxilom Timog. This is how she looks like. Anak ni siya ni General Maxilom. And apo, because this is Crescencia, I'm sorry. This is Crescencia. She is the daughter of Feliza. Wala na day. The next slide will be the picture of Feliza. Next slide, please. Okay, Feliza is the one siya tigulang na ni siya ani na iyang yaning mga apo. This is in the US. And then si Crescencia was the one who helped remember the past together with Lolo Lidio. So tawagon ni siya og Mami Ising Crescencia. So she was Crescencia Maxilom Timog Nakar. So lisod na kaayo ang isa sa kadako na kay ang family. There are also marriages nga maka-realize sila nga igagaw dai sila. So there are cases like that in the family. Pero naunsa man naminyo naman sila. So but then they later realize nga parente di ay. So yeah, you have a question?
Yes, daghang salamat, Maribir. So we have also our audience from Cavite. Good afternoon, watching from Cavite. So sometimes you would be speaking in Cebuano, but then maybe they can still understand us. And someone from Iloilo, Clarabel.
I'm sorry.
And Choli Ilavia says #change, #Maisog. And Baskia Kayanan from Bohol watching. Randy De Gracia says, good afternoon, very informative. So we have seen the very big family of General Arcadio Maxilom. So I guess they have all participated in, there were brothers of General Maxilom who died in the Battle of Tuburan, and also, as you said, in the war against the Americans. So for the descendants and relatives of Arcadio Maxilom, can you again tell us who is General Arcadio Maxilom to his descendants and relatives?
Okay. So as I mentioned, he took over the Katipunan when upon the assassination of Leon Quilat. So at that time, storya pa sa kong daddy, and it's also in this book, that ang naato sila mga anting-anting. So Arcadio Maxilom operated on anting-anting kana mga amulets, mga habak-habak. They have handkerchief that they have to put aron ma-bless sila, mahimo silang invincible, di sila mamatay. So this is a what do you call this? Ang mindset nga animism, meaning the respect for nature, kusog na din kaniadtong panahon, ug anitism, respect for the ancestral gods, and also nagblend na din ang Christianity because they also call out on the saints and God and Santo Niño, for example. So mona na usa na ka major element sa ni 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏. And also in Tuburan is founded by Mariano Montebon, who is also on the side of my father, because my father's father. So pareho na sila na mga anting-anting. And then later si Anastasio Montebon, my father's namesake, also one of the founding fathers of Tuburan. They have the same, they go through tulumanon or mga rituals nga ilang gibuhat, mangadji na sila para dili mawala ilang gahom. They always do those rituals. And I remember my uncle Romulo Montebon na naana sila 9 prayer booklets nga gipasa from one generation to the next. Nga for example si Mariano Montebon, this is a separate family, but the same practice. Ang 9 prayer booklets gi-move on to Anastasio Montebon, then to 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏, mangadji gyud na sila before mo asdang sa gubat. So that is how it was before. Very mystical ang ilang approach to the war. But also kay Bisaya aganan kay mo kaog humba, so mo na naay humba nga in honor of 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏. Sasad na nga ilado gito siya mukaon gito siya humba and mais, because Tuburan is a grower of corn. Yeah, so ang humba ipares na siya mais. And then my dear Agrippina, ang title is Maisog, right? Si Maxilom. But actually under Bisaya man na si Maxilom sa iyang asawa, meaning henpecked husband.
Di, mahigugmaon.
Pero
mahigugmaon,
it has become a family joke. But actually, I heard this from Ate Lilet in Germany, nga moingon siya nga, kinahanglan mo, Bahalag naggubat-gubat mo din ha, naamoy gipang target dito nga kay mga guerrilla man to ang pamaagi sa gubat sa una. Guerrilla ana sniping. Muuli jud kag panihapon kay kung di ka muuli dakong gubot sa balay. So muuli gyud kuno to si Lolo Kadyo kay aron dili magkagubot ilang balay. Muuli gyud siya panihapon. So that's being told by Ate Lilet, and it's also I heard it from his apo, anak ni Veronica, si Lola 𝗝𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 Sanchez. She also told me that story, and dito sa ilang balay at the back of Miller Hospital. I don't know, napa by Miller Hospital ron?
Napa.
So naa
So
dito.
it could have been a very interesting story, Maribir. How could have
Mhm.
been family life of a revolutionary like General Maxilom? He was in a camp in Sudlon. So did he bring his family in Sudlon? And then he also like against the Spaniards and against the Americans. So it was a very fierce. It was really a war. So it was a
Yeah.
bloody war, and with a
Yes.
family. So this is a story that we need to know. The
Yeah.
sacrifices of our heroes, raising a family amidst the war. So and then there is a comment here from our audience. I see most of his children were girls or are girls. So
Yeah.
so while we would be asking our audience to give your questions, because right now we will be listening to the reading of a 100-year-old document from from nearly 100-year-old document. So thank you very much, Marivir. We will again ask you later other questions. So now we would like to introduce to you again our resource person this afternoon. He is a consultant of the Cebu Provincial Museum and the Cebu Provincial Government for Museum Affairs or sakto ba na? And then he is an archaeologist. He just dug about iron piece artifacts in the Iron Age, and now he is going to read to us in English, or he is going to explain to us in English a document on the biography of General Arcadio Maxilom, one of the papers of Senator Vicente Rama. And then please help me welcome our resource person, Dr. Jobers Reynas Bersales.
Thank you. Thank you, Kaayo. Gracias. Muchas gracias. Agripina. I will read from, I think there is a, I think there is a set of slides I prepared so that you have an idea of how the biography looked like. There is no authorship, and this is among the papers of Senator Vicente Rama. Knowing Senator Vicente Rama, he was a publisher, no? So you wonder why it was not published. I understand now, after translating the document from Spanish, I now understand why it could not be published. Because it is it's very controversial to the 𝗝𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏 family of Tuburan. I was expecting that at least members of the Cebu Normal University in Tuburan would be watching, or at least residents of Tuburan. But apparently all the names and schools and all the places you mentioned, there is none from Tuburan, which is really sad. This is a very important person that, as the mayor has said, every Tuburanon should be proud of. No? So the slides, okay. So let's proceed to pages 1 and 2 so that I can finish in 2 minutes. Maxilom was born on 13 November at 8 in the evening, alas 8 de noche, to Don Roberto Maxilom and Doña Gregoria Molero. The word Maxilom in Spanish is pronounced Mahilom. And so therefore, he was really Mahilom. This is a Hispanized spelling of Mahilom. And when the Americans came, they do not know how to pronounce the X as a J. No? So Mexico, for example, the country Mexico is pronounced by Mexicanos as Mexico, not Mexicano. So this is, I think this is his real family name, Mahilom. I studied the alphabet under his parents at the age of 7, and he was eventually educated in grammar by the cura parroco of Tuburan, Don Mariano Esmero up to 12 years old when he was appointed assistant teacher in primary instruction due to his talents. In 1874, however, his father died and he is forced to stop teaching and devote time to the family farm in order to assist his poor mother and his minor siblings. Meanwhile, in between this, he continues to study grammatics and writing, and on Fridays and Saturdays, he assists voluntarily the work of directorillo, gamay nga director, Don Tomas Cenitha and Don Tibes Gallardo, secretary of the Tribunal of Tuburan. In 1877, he was appointed secretary and interim directorillo of the Tribunal de Tuburan, handling prisoners and criminals. This handling of prisoners and criminals would lead in 1881 to his appointment as secretary and interim directorillo of the Tribunal de to his becoming juez de paz, which at this time was based in Tuburan. Tuburan must have been a very big town already because this juez de paz of Tuburan had jurisdiction over northern Cebu, starting with Sogod, no, not Sogod and surrounding areas in Tuburan, no, and he held that position by appointment from the Audiencia Territorial de Cebu. In the capital, he was appointed. In 1888, he was elected by popular vote of all males owning properties as requirement at that time as teniente of the town of Tuburan. So deputy mayor, serving up to 1890. In 1892, he became gobernadorcillo, serving up to March 1894, when in that year, the position was changed to Kapitan Municipal because the overseas minister of the Crown of Spain forwarded the Código Municipal, which changed the colonial administrations of all towns from gobernadorcillo or little governors to Kapitan Municipal. That is why Arcadio Maxilom is called Tan Arcadio, because he was Kapitan. So that anyone called Tan must be someone who became Kapitan only after 1894, because before that, there is no such thing as Kapitan Municipal in all of the Spanish colonies. So if you have stories nga, Kapitan ang among lolo sa 1860s, di na tinuod, gobernadorcillo tingali. No? Okay. So up to 1896. In 1897, and this is the most crucial, most highly libelous in the biography, in 1897, Maxilom accuses Don Fausto Tabotabo of not liquidating accounts belonging to him. And this begins a constant struggle against the Tabotabo family. In history, we are told that the Tabotabos joined the revolution. In this biography, they are not part of the revolution. They are on the side of Spanish loyalistas. The continuation of the story of page 3. Page 3 na. Page 3 is they were fighting it out openly until it came to a point when Tabotabo Fausto, who I understand donated where the municipio is located, accused him, slandered him of being head of one of the terrorists of the Katipunan in Manila. But thanks to the protection and defense of the former commander and captain of the Tuburan Guardia Civil, Don Ciriaco Gutierrez, an insular Spaniard, so Spaniard born in the Philippines, who knew him very well, defended him before General Adolfo Montero, the gobernador or alcalde mayor of the province of Cebu. Page 4. In the year 1898, the insurrection in Manila began to really burn all over Tagalog region. The situation for Maxilom in Tuburan was already difficult. He decided to leave his family and move to San Nicolas, which at the time, April 1898, he arrives when incidentally, as the biography says, 𝗲𝗿𝗀 he arrives at a time when there is preparation for revolution led by Don Luis Flores, Don Candido Padilla, Don Catalino Fernandez, Don Florencio González, Don Mariano Fernandez, Don Bonifacio Aranas, Don Leon Quilat, Don Eugenio Abillar, Don Valentin Gascon, Don Francisco Diamas, aided by other cabecillas, Telésforo Echevarri, Artenio Cabreros, Serapio Cabino, Olimpio Reyes, and on April 3, that same year, 1898, he joined the uprising. Luis Flores and Candido Padilla then named him propagandista of the Costa y Contra Costa, so both sides of the island of Cebu. No? And page 5 and 6. Makabasa mo? Okay. So, and when he was in the northern towns, manang revolusyon na nagsugod na diri, he was starting to move to the northern towns in Katipunan and Sogod in fulfillment of his duties. When he spread the rumor that, this was before the start of the revolution, he went to the towns and started spreading the rumor that the revolution was going to happen. No? Anyway, after the revolution, on Monday, Thursday, he continued his march to the town of Tuburan together with 30 people nga nagdaog bolo under his disposition. He entered the town and warned the civil guards to surrender, and the guards surrendered without shedding blood. However, on April 15, the steamers 𝗝𝗲𝗃𝗃 and 𝗣𝗏𝗃𝗃 arrived, and the Battle of Tuburan began the following day. This lasted for 8 hours, from 5:30 in the morning until 1 a.m. And his brothers, cousin, and nephews died. No? This combat left the town deserted, and because of the anger of the cazadores, they burned the entire town, but they saved the church, the convent, and the camarin of Fausto 𝗲𝗏𝗶𝗏. 𝗲𝗏𝗶𝗏 came down from the mountains and expressed his loyalty to the cazadores, or the Spanish soldiers, and they became, it's exposed that they are spies, ang iyang brothers. I don't know if this is true, because in books, Fausto 𝗲𝗏𝗶𝗏 is shown as having been convinced by Maxilom to join the revolution. In this article, it is strange. 𝗲𝗏𝗶𝗏 and his brothers become spies for the Spanish government and continue to rule as Kapitan Municipal. And they are responsible for the death of Don Solomon Manalili, who, as na istorya ni, who because of his trust for 𝗲𝗏𝗶𝗏, ning side siya ni 𝗲𝗏𝗶𝗏, but 𝗲𝗏𝗶𝗏 turned him over to the, he was assassinated, no, from a distance by cazadores led by Don Antonio Delgado. A sad spectacle ingon sa author, because at this time, Maxilom was already in the mountains of Calooboan with his comrades, which is somewhere in the jurisdiction of Sogod. On page 7, kapit na ni mo man kay 22 pages man. Fausto Rafael Gaudencio Catalino Micael, no, under assistance, continue massacring many places, not just in Tuburan, but in other places. These reports reach Maxilom, and he begins to organize an important camp, which is the camp of Amiya, which I think appears as Camp Anihaw in books. There he establishes a camp that could welcome refugees, up to 3,000 of them. And indeed, in the northern towns, as page 8, page 9, page 10, 11, and 12 would show, they were already starting to abandon their towns and move to the refuge of Maxilom in Anihaw or Amiya. No? So, importante kay nga bukid, kinahanglan na markahan. Now, he wanted to find out on page 9 what had happened to the revolution, to other brothers in the revolution that had now been established in Sudlon. So he sent emissaries to Sudlon, and he received reports that happily everyone survived. There was a big camp, and everybody, upon hearing this in the Anihaw camp, they shouted, "Viva Filipinas! Viva los insurrectos!" No, viva, viva, viva. Viva mineral water. Anyway, then Mr. Maxilom asked his comrades. No? So he was asked to go to Sudlon, where there, in page 10, 11, and 12, makabasa mo, page 10, 11, 12, described there is how the Sudlon camp is organized, and there are certain positions. They decided to start electing officers of the revolution. No, and then this is around June. The officers, of course, are led by Luis Flores. Maxilom is appointed general-in-chief of all the troops of all of Cebu. That is why people say, Mariver, for example, says, after 𝗍𝗏𝗃𝗏, it was Maxilom that took over the Katipunans. Actually, 𝗍𝗏𝗃𝗏 led the military arm of the Katipunan in the revolt. The Katipunan in Cebu was actually led by Luis Flores. It was 𝗍𝗏𝗃𝗏 that led as a military officer the assault of April 3, 1898. Kay official man na silang Luis Flores, so they did not join. They were not to be at the forefront. In the same manner that after 𝗍𝗏𝗃𝗏 dies, he is appointed, elected, and recognized by Aguinaldo as chief of the military troops of Cebu. Okay. Now we move to page 14, 15, 16. When after August 1898, Manila is already surrendered by the Spaniards, and you have the Spaniards in Cebu becoming demoralized. All the garrisons are starting to be abandoned. So the revolutionary government in Sudlon starts to begin negotiations for peace, sponsored by Bishop Martin Garcia Alcocer, the Franciscan Bishop of Cebu. Appointed to represent Garcia Alcocer is Mr. Jose Rodriguez. I think this is the same Jose Rodriguez that later became senator of during the American period. Rodriguez goes up to the Sudlon camp and is immediately imprisoned, but he is later released when the agreements are made to create a peace conference in Tabunok at the house of a soldier called Teniente Esteban, together with the priests appointed by the bishop, Father Emilio Mercado and Father Ismael Paras, as well as representatives of the Spanish governor. The peace event was held at 10 o'clock on November 12. Before the day was over, the Spanish authorities had already surrendered Cebu. They were just waiting for the ship to arrive. On November 13, the following day, this is important, which is missed out by so many books. On November 13, the following day, having heard of the successful peace conference led by Maxilom, appointed by Flores, Luis Flores, Presidente of the Philippine Republican representatives in Cebu, appoints and elects with the other generals around him, elects Arcadio Maxilom as governor of Cebu to replace Spanish General Montero. So you have, it's not Luis Flores that becomes the first governor of Cebu, rather it is Arcadio Maxilom on November 13 at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay. The next day, Maxilom continues with the negotiations. Part of the negotiations is for the Spanish government. Yeah, pas na kayo. I'm going to talk fast because we have no more time. Arcadio Maxilom begins to accept the representatives of the Spanish government that together with Pablo Mejia, who is presented in Tabunok with an inventory of all government properties, forts, and including the port or puerto of Cebu. They are all turned over to the revolutionary government on November 13. We usually say that the Spanish abandonment of Cebu on December 24 was the beginning of the takeover of the Katipunan. In this biography, it is clear that the following day in Tabunok, November 13, the Spanish government, led by Montero, surrendered Cebu and its official properties to the revolution. Days following, the government, Maxilom left the Spaniards and told them to a few days to begin abandoning Cebu. Ning hangyo si Montero. Montero said, "Please do not let us go yet. We do not have a boat. No boat has arrived. What will we do? We will swim. So the biography states they had to wait for the boats Paragua, and there's another boat that will bring them to Zamboanga. In the meantime, Arcadio Maxilom establishes the Republican government in El Pardo. The author does not mention where in particular, in which house the Cebu provincial government of the revolutionaries was in El Pardo. But we suspect that this must be in the convento because Maxilom orders that all convents be turned as offices of the interim provincial and local governments. So all the convents of the towns were to be occupied temporarily as offices of all the capitanes municipales or the appointees. Now, there is no date, but on January 1, the revolutionary government enters Cebu City. We know this as December 29, but there's an important parade that happens on January 1. No? And before, by the way, before the katag-katag man ang biography, moving back and forth, and there are no dates, we suddenly have that before the Spaniards abandoned Cebu, Maxilom requested for the release of very important persons. There's Lucio Herrera, Don Pedro Quiy, and so many others who were imprisoned in Fort San Pedro for supporting the revolution. Julio Llorente, Lucio Herrera, Don Pedro Quiy, Florencio Cabacon, and others. No? And yeah. So the revolutionary government remained in Cebu and was based in El Pardo and was given due recognition by the duly constituted government of the Philippine Republic in Malolos, Luzon. Following the laws and regulations of the Constitution of Malolos, the following were then elected: President, Mr. Luis Flores; Vice Presidente, Julio Llorente; Police Councilor, Arcadio Maxilom; Justice Councilor, Miguel Lugarta; Revenue Councilor, Don Pablo Mejia; Provincial Secretary, Don Leoncio Alburo, who took their positions on January 1, 1899. Now, they were already beginning to prepare for the arrival of the Americans, which would happen on February 2, 1899. Upon appointment as police commissioner or councilor for police, Maxilom on February 8 begins a tour of all the towns on board the steamer Seferino to see the defense being formed by the different towns. It is when he is in Liloan that he hears of the arrival of the American gunboat Petrel. No? And he docks his boat later at, this is page 22, later at Mabolo, and walks on his way to Cebu, and he is told on his way nga, Señor, the flag of the Americans were already raised at Fort San Pedro at noon of February 22. That's the end of the biography. It does not talk of the American the role of Maxilom in the war. Thank you very much.
Daghang salamat. Let's give a round of applause to our resource person who brought with him actually scanned copy of that 100-year-old document, which is now at the Museo Sugbo, the Cebu Provincial Museum. So we have heard the life of General Arcadio Maxilom until the coming of the Americans. So he was one of those, or he led actually the resistance against the Americans. So it discussed about how General Arcadio Maxilom became the governor. He was appointed or declared as the governor of Cebu on November 13, and that's his birthday also. So it was the birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom, the birthday of the province of Cebu, because of course they declared it free from the Spaniards, Cebu free from the Spaniards, with El Pardo as the capital at that time. So the term used here is Gobernador de Interino, Dr. Jobers. Here in the book of of here in the book. This is published by 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, the Cebu Heritage Hotel, and you can. This is out of print, but you can send us a message if you want. So you will be waitlisted for this when it is printed. So again, a short history of Cebu, and this actually has the details of how how General Arcadio Maxilom with the other Katipuneros formed the Junta Popular in the different towns in Cebu in preparation for their freedom, or as an expression of their freedom, or of their declaration of freedom from Spain. They already established their own governments in the different towns of Cebu, even when the Spaniards were still here. And then, so that's why they declared El Pardo as the capital of the new government, of the revolutionary government, with the governor, General Arcadio Maxilom. And of course, but the history books would say, Dr. Jobers, that the first governor after the Spaniards left, or we were freed from the Spaniards, was Gobernador Luis Flores. Recognized. So before Luis Flores was the governor, General Arcadio Maxilom was already also declared as appointed by by General Luis Flores. He was also Don Luis Flores as the general while the Spaniards were still here. So we also invite you to have this book. This book was written. The contents of this was written also as a celebration of the centennial, the Philippine centennial, of the centennial of the Philippine Revolution, or the in 1898, or this was written in 1998 but published by 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 in 2016 during the soft opening of 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. And also for the children, you will also learn, you will also see General Arcadio Maxilom here. This is National Children's Month. We invite the children to know more, to trace their roots, our heroic roots, the heroes of our past, and to inspire the children to become better leaders and to become leaders like our revolutionaries, like our heroes. So this is the book by the Cebuano children, si 𝗍𝗂𝗃𝗃 𝗠𝗿𝗃 na gisugilon sa mga Sugbuanong bata, which has the illustration, of course, of the victory of the revolution with General Maxilom, but only showing the flags here at the end. So it is nikaging ko diha, but okay ra. So not in the live. So also, thank you very much, Dr. Jobber. So we invite everyone, to those who have questions. So there is also an interaction from Shang. This is Masi from the Museo Sugbo. Thank you, Masi, for watching. And she's saying that she introduces a descendant of General Arcadio Maxilom Roldan, Captain Roldan Talaugon. And I guess this is for Mariver. I would like to ask if the descendants of General Maxilom with his first wife was recognized and represented. And I am Major Roldan Abragan Maxilom Talaugon, son of Lieutenant Colonel Danilo Maxilom Talaugon, who is a great-grandson of General Maxilom. I guess their family, they were the ones who donated that kris, the kris of General Maxilom displayed right now in the Museo Sugbo. So I guess every one of you here, you're already excited to go to Museo Sugbo. Is it already open? So it's open and waiting for you. It's free registration, no admission fee, but please donate. So you would see also a replica, or a standee of General Maxilom there and then you would also see some accounts of the war against the Americans. When the gunboat, the American gunboat arrived, and of course, General Maxilom was one of those. He was the one who led in the resistance against the Americans. When others surrendered, Maxilom continued to fight. So we have a question here for Professor Jeffrey. For those who are on Facebook Live, if you have a question for Dr. Jobers Reynes Bersales, you need to give your question before he leaves because of his another engagement. He's very busy. He's more busy than the president. So now he is running for president, so he's not busy, but he is a president, going to be president. So now we have a question for Professor Jeffrey, history faculty from the history division of the University of the Philippines Los Baños, who has a study on the revolutionaries under General Arcadio Maxilom, the young revolutionaries under General Arcadio Maxilom. So we would like to ask him regarding the ties of the Maxilom 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃 Cebu revolutionary government. So this is now during the American occupation of Cebu with the government of President Aguinaldo and on General Antonio Luna. So of course we know General Luna of that film, that popular film that is also on Netflix right now. So General Luna was the general for military, who was the leader for military affairs in the revolutionary government. So we would like to know the ties of the Maxilom government, revolutionary government in Cebu, with that of the government of Aguinaldo and with General Antonio Luna.
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. Now, it is interesting to look at the ties between the Maximum and 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏 revolutionary government with the government of President Emilio Aguinaldo and General Luna. More so especially that Luna had a movie about him, shown way back some years ago. So here are some details. So, for one, January 24, 1899, President Aguinaldo had expressed thanks for the Cebuanos' patriotism and then also provisionally approved the constitution of the Cebu Provincial Council. And then, throughout the existence of the Republic and of Maxilom's in Cebu, General Maxilom caused the circulation in Cebu of issuances emanating from President Emilio Aguinaldo. Interestingly here, Maxilom and General Antonio Luna or General Luna had an exchange of communications, especially in May and early June 1899. So the communication Maxilom seeking permission from General Luna, who was then at the time the Secretary of War. Maxilom was seeking permission from Luna about the right of his government, of his forces to seize Cebu province in case the municipal presidentes or the mayors at the time would capitulate or surrender to the Americans. General Luna in turn replied June 2, 1899, also reminding Maxilom that they could punish pro-American collaborators, and in fact, they should fulfill their duty or the punishment without regard to the standing of the suspected pro-American collaborators. And then finally, Commissioner Pantaleon de Rosario also ordered the establishment of Philippine Customs House throughout in Cebu. So let me show the ties, So we can say that General Luna and General Maxilom have some similarities, especially in their fervent nationalism and their hardline stance, against American collaborators. So it will be interesting if later on there could be movies or any narratives, about Maxilom, movie about General Luna.
Daghang salamat, Professor Jeffrey. So Professor Jeffrey said that there are similarities between Maxilom and Luna because they are very hard line and they fought hard because of their nationalism and patriotism against the American occupation. And then so now we would like to ask the descendant, the relative of General Arcadio Maxilom, Marivir, our panelist. She is New York based. It is now dawn at morning or 2 a.m. or 3 a.m.
3.
in New York. So we are happy that she's still awake and alive. and then, and at this time, so we would like to ask
Okay lang.
you, why was General Maxilom referred referred to as the last man standing?
Oh, okay. I can show my slide, right? This one. So at this time, it was the crossroads of Philippine history nga, from one imperial power to the next. And if we are very strict at our dates in our research, and also coming from this book, I'm skimming through it, the Cebu independence period was only 2 months, from December to February, when the Americans came over. Remember that we were sold to Spain for $25 million, to America by Spain. So when we were already winning the war, maski mga bolo ra to, mga gagmayng pusil, we won because Maxilom had the support of the community, of the people. So ni daog. Pero doon na may mas dako nga superpower nga ni take over sa Pilipinas. So mao to nga he was the last man standing, and he valued his steadfastness nga para dili na ta mapasakop og kinsa nga colonial power. He was also emboldened because he was aligned with General Luna and Apolinario Mabini. So mo to iyahang naghatag niya og puwersa. He was the last man standing. He has remained modest, but he was rich in dignity and integrity. Of course, dili na malikayan, there were political skirmishes, as Dr. Bersales mentioned, the tabu-tabos in Tuburan. That's part of the local politics, the dynamics of politics. But his mind, he was steadfast in his assertion that kinahanglan independente ang Pilipinas from any other colonial power. But tungod kay kusog man kaayo ang pwersa sa Amerikano, they were much more high-powered than the Spanish, and they're more cunning. Ang mga architects of colonialism sa Amerika had been very kaning benevolent assimilation, duplicity ba, benevolent nga assimilation, benevolent unya persado. So it was a really bloody war at the turn of the century in the 1900s. So you will see that Maxilom still continued to fight, bisan gamay na lang, nagkagamay ang puwersa ug ang suporta niya sa mga tao. Then eventually he had to surrender. And especially, I can just surmise the demoralization kay iyang mga duha ka igsuon namatay, si Samuel ug si Nemesio, and he had to surrender. So ni-apply siya og political asylum, and he was actually pardoned he surrendered to Brigadier General Robert Hughes. And so nagpuyo na siya sa Tuburan and entered into local politics. And at that time, we were already Cebu was militarized on July 17, 1901, and that was super bloody nga account. And you will see this in the book of Dr. Risil Mujares, The War Against the Americans. So grabe to nga military power nga ni control gyud sa Cebu. And then very short, July, August, September, October, subjugated na ang Cebu sa mga Amerikano. And he surrendered. He was the last man standing. And so Maxilom was actually sentenced for 10 years and a fine of 4,000, and he served imprisonment, but he was pardoned in 1903. Kay 1901 na priso siya, 1903 nakagawa siya. So mo na ni time na na siya, na nabalik siya sa family. And I would recall nga dito na siya nipuyo, dinhi na siya nipuyo sa Cebu City. Wala na sa Tuburan. So I could be wrong, but that's my records that I got here. Unya namatay siya in 1924, gilubong siya sa kareta. And President Aguinaldo was present in his funeral. So mo na siya nga at that time ang diaspora sa mga tawo in Tuburan in the early 1900s ni migrate dito sa Hawaii, and kadaghanan sa mga Maxilom had moved to Hawaii. This was also the time when America, the new rising power, needed labor for agriculture. Mao na ni nga time nga ang mga sakadas, mga Filipinos from Ilocos, from Siquijor, from Tuburan went to the US to become agricultural laborers. So mo ni ang atong history, spillover sa war, and an important note also that the Maxiloms did not morph to become a political oligarch, unlike the other big traditional families nga naa sa Cebu nga nidagko sila. The Maxiloms, based on my interview, nga ang second generation kaning batch nila ni 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃 were more cheerful givers, dili sila sakim. And the tide was against them kay mo man tong pagsud gyud sa Amerikano, and they did not give in readily to the new colonial master, unlike sina Luis Flores. They actually did a surrender under protest. That was what happened in Cebu, which angered Maxilom, because that's really ironic nga naman ka mo surrender under protest. So he set up a revolutionary government in Pardo to defy his colleagues mismo sa Katipunan nga ni surrender under protest sa Amerika. And so that's him in a nutshell. And so I salute 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃. He must be smiling in heaven that we acknowledge him. And the lesson of his life is stand as much as you can. Be the last man standing. So that's also the challenge for every one of us these days. Wherever you are, bisan naka sa Cebu or na ako diri sa US or any one of us, barog lang sa imong prinsipyo. And you will be, history will look at you kindly. And you will be an inspiration. So, salamat, Tolo Kadyo. I'm ready for questions. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Marivir. So, Marivir was telling us about how General Arcadio Maxilom continued the fight even when the president of the Katipunan, like Don Luis Flores, already surrendered under protest to the Americans. So that's why if you listen to our song, O Pilipinas, there's a line there that says, "Mamauli na kita sa sudlon, let us go back to sudlon. Dili kita muuner sa mga taong malupigon, we will not surrender to the oppressors." Nga maoy nagbaligya sa atong nation, to those who who betrayed our nation. So that song, so when we interviewed Dr. 𝗔𝘀𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃 about that song, so because the descendants of General Potenciano Alinio asked Pamcras to produce that song so that it wouldn't just disappear. So when we asked national artist for literature, Dr. 𝗔𝘀𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃 about that song, so he said it must have been written during when Leon Quilat was betrayed and later was revived when, of course, there were Katipuneros who also betrayed and surrendered to the Americans. That's why they are now going back to Sudlon. So you should listen to that song, O Pilipinas. It is at Pamgras, the Cebu Heritage Hotel YouTube account. So now we have this question, last few questions for our panelists. And for those who have questions to our resource persons, you should already ask your questions. Maybe there would be questions from our audience after this. So from our live audience. So we have this question for Professor Jeffrey. What is the significance of remembering General Maxilom through a street?
Okay, thank you for that question, ma'am. Okay, first of all, streets, no? Street merely pavements nor paved passage, but they also serve as markers of memory, historical sites, no? And the case of General Maxilom Avenue in Cebu City is no exception, no? So why is it important for us Filipinos, Cebuanos especially, to remember Maxilom Street? For one, it is for us to have a conclusion of our Cebuano heroes who had struggled during the critical birth of our nasud, no, or of our nation. In a way, people can associate a street, no, with a personality, historical personality, if they often happen to pass by the said street, and then if they connect it with the narratives that they see in media or social media, they could have somehow have some sort of a relation, no? Kiniman si Maxilom, or this is General Luna, etc. No. Furthermore, toponyms or place names can be nationalized, no, to reflect the nationalistic temper, nationalistic mood of the people. Place names, no, we have many place names of towns, and many places had their names renamed in the aftermath of the Philippine Revolution and the Filipino-American War. And in the case of Cebu City, as my friend and colleague had shown in a study, no, the constant changing of place names in Cebu City, then the sense of patriotism in Cebu, no, the changing of Osmanian Jones and many more. So toponyms can be nationalized. The challenge here is to how to sustain the remembrance of these toponyms or street names. And then finally, fallen historical personalities in our history, and through streets we can further remember them, no? We can further remember them in various ways. Okay?
Daghang salamat, Professor Jeffrey. So, of course, we see the names of our heroes on street signs. And that is the inspiration of PAMGRA's the Cebu Heritage Hotel. When we knew about these heroes in this book by Emil Hostimbaste. So we have seen the names of our heroes, but we have seen their names on the street signs, but most of us Cebuanos or Filipinos, they don't mean those names don't mean anything to us. So that's why we made PAMGRA's the Cebu Heritage Hotel made it a point to name the different floors and even our rooms in honor of our heroes. We have rooms for heroes, and even our dishes are named after heroes. So our ikaunom nga andana, the 6th floor of PAMGRA's the Cebu Heritage Hotel is named General Arcadio Maxilom. So that's why, and one of the rooms there at the General Arcadio Maxilom is named in honor of one Katipunan General, General Lorenzo Ihi, and another room is Tulok ka General nga Alinyo in 6th floor. So we should visit our museums, and then we should read these books, and they should be taught in schools. Who are these heroes, and why is it that we only know about General Luna, Aguinaldo, Rizal, Bonifacio, and why is it that most people don't know about 𝗿𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏? We have this interview a few years back. We interviewed a vendor along 𝗿𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 Street. We asked her, "Do you know who is 𝗿𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏?" So we have, if you have seen that video about 𝗿𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 ug Sigbin that we showed during the countdown, the vendor said, "I was here for a long time and I haven't seen a man named 𝗿𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏." And she was right on the street named 𝗿𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏. Then later, she was actually making up stories like she said, "I guess maybe because 𝗿𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 Street has parada or tartanilla or horse carriages." And then she was saying, maybe 𝗿𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 maybe he was a driver of a tartanilla. And then that's why, and then they were right on Leon-Quilat Street. And then that's why our interviewer was putting the microphone on the horse and was asking the horse, do you know who is Leon-Quilat? But actually, a few years after that, 2 years after that, when I asked a driver of a Tartanilla, a paradista, I was asking him, I was riding the Tartanilla, do you know who is Leon-Quilat? Siya, yes, I know who is Leon-Quilat. He led the Battle of 3 de Abril. Why do you know? Because I was the one who drove the Tartanilla going to Palmgrass in the celebration of April 3. So, because we had this celebration of the Battle of 3 de Abril, when we had the Tartanilla go from the bridge, the Colon Bridge or Puente de la Revolucion, going to Palmgrass to celebrate the Battle of 3 de Abril, because of course the Battle of 3 de Abril stopped at Puente de la Revolucion. So we need to let the people know who our heroes are or were, because our heroes would inspire us that change can happen if we are able to emulate our heroes, because they were able to free us from Spain with just bolos and knives. So now, of course, we will stay tuned for our spoken poetry contest. So we have 8 contestants who registered, but only 3 came. So all 3 would be winners, I guess, but one of them will be the grand winner. So stay tuned for this, and stay tuned also for our trivia quiz with prizes. So and now we would like to have our questions. So if anyone would like to ask a question, we would entertain questions after the reaction, and we have our reactor from the Community Extension Service of the University of San Carlos Political Science Department. Please help me welcome Miss Melissa Laga for her reaction. So the microphone.
Okay. Maayong hapon sa tanan. Ito ba?
Yes, we have our reactor, Melissa Laga.
Maayong hapon. Thank you for inviting the Department of Political Science, representing Department.
Wala pa ka makita sa
okay.
video. Pwede ra dire or unsa man kanang nga naman na nihang ngit-ngit. Oh, sige. Okay.
Okay. So, maayong hapon once again. Thank you for inviting the Department of Political Science to present this event. So, hearing the story of the life of General Maxilom, and even commemorating his birthday today, I think we all agree. No, while I was listening, I just remembered one of an author actually mentioned that you can only judge a person's life when it's done. And remembering 159 years after that life is lived, I like actually how Miss Marivic's presentation ended. He said that General Maxilom died a modest man who was rich in dignity and integrity. And I think that's very important. So more than anything else, me as a learning facilitator for political science, I'm sure most of us teaching, the evolution of government, we put a degree of importance and significance in talking about how our government has actually evolved, And I'm not sure if we share the same, but I could have also confirmed and asked Dr. Jobers, no, if it's still true, because history is actually a challenge, no, for the Filipino people. So do you still agree with that, ma'am? It's still a challenge because, as what they said, no, ang mga Pinoy man yun namin yung historical amnesia. And commemorations like this is very important. And it takes, I think, an interest, no? It's a challenge to spark interest to the Filipino people in learning, no? So I resonate with what Ma'am Caridad actually mentioned earlier, that this it could have been better, and it is better that stories like this who actually inspires, no, be taught in school and taught in a way that will spark interest. So yesterday I was here actually, ma'am, and I did try Maxilom 𝗶𝗶𝗃𝗶𝗿. So for some reason I just saw it and then I tried it. And then I saw your presentation also on 𝗍𝗏𝗄𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 I life. So I find it interesting, and I hope that the lives also of our heroes are actually presented that way, in a way or in a strategy that is relatable to everyone, especially the youth. So I think the legacy, no, commemorating birthdays or the life of heroes, like how or what we are doing now, what we'll be thinking or remembering is really the legacy of the life of that person. No? So hopefully what we have heard today, no, will be remembered. It could have been best, well, in the field of politics or in political science, more than the dates, we actually talk about what really are the contribution, no, because that's how we move ourselves forward. Well, as far as I'm concerned, so we talk about the dates, but more than anything else, how this life has actually moved the country forward, which is very important, especially, now. I can't help but connect it, of course, with the political atmosphere that we have now, especially we are preparing for the election next year. And again, history is very important. If they said that Filipinos are, unfortunately, generally, as observed, we're really poor in history. And it is observed with how we are doing today. So I hope that commemorations like this will actually encourage more, especially how the hotel actually is presenting history, in helping raise awareness and even give emphasis and significance on what history can actually do with the way how we form the government that we want to have. So as much as General Maxilom served and even fought for the freedom, I think that's very important to be reminded of, we as a Filipino people, of those people who fought for the democracy that we are enjoying now. And much more, this is very important to remember as we once again chart the next chapter of not only Cebu, but of the country as a whole, as we not only just choose but assess also the lives of the people that are presenting themselves to take office in the next election. So I hope we take much of such lesson from the life of General Maxilom. So thank you very much. Maayong hapon.
Daghang salamat, Miss Melissa, for the wonderful insights about the need for us to really know the contributions of our heroes. So thank you very much, Miss Melissa. We are so thankful and happy that the University of San Carlos Political Science Department is a partner of this event, and we have students also from the University of San Carlos who are here physically on site to celebrate with us the birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom. So now we would like also to ask Marivir regarding how should the present generation honor General Maxilom?
Well, how you're doing right now. I am really, really happy. Pam Grass, with the leadership of Ms. Caridad Givilondo and your team, this is a way to really honor our roots and our local history. So I salute to you as much as I salute to my forebear and all the other revolutionaries ahead of me, sa akong pamilya and everyone else. So this is how we should do it. Thank you so much for what you're doing. It's very creative. Our music is so like hip. Karon pa ko kadungog anang mga na hip na kaya niya. Ang content is very centuries old. So that's important for us to be connected all the time with our past, because if we know our past, we know who we are presently and we can charter our future. So maulang na akong mahibawan na please keep doing what you're doing. And I also again encourage mga kapamilya, mga ang audience dire to remember to trace your roots, because it is from that we learn who we are. Mailhan na to, uy, liwat day ko niya kanang buutan. Liwat day ko sa akong lolo nga manggihatagon. Ano ba? And maski makabalo, palahubog man to siya, stop na sad ko, I should stop that. It should end in me. So having knowledge of our heritage is really necessary, and it should start sa atong kaugalingong clan. So that's how I feel now we should do, and the young people should do it too.
Yes.
Start asking your grandparents before they die, or before they're not able to talk or remember.
Yes. So thank you very much, Maribir. That's why at PAMGRAS, we really make it a point to have our young people participate in our events and even in creation of art. So even the songs are with the participation of the young people. They created the music actually in our songs, and they're part of our in the creation of our videos. So we would also like to ask Professor Jeffrey. We have one more question for him regarding about two more questions, like how should we honor our heroes in general. So we have honored our heroes through a street. For example, we have a General Maxilom Avenue, and then in Cebu. So in general, how should we honor our heroes?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. For one, by remembering place names, no, it's a good start in honoring our heroes, no, and of contending any possible change of place names that have already honored our heroes, no. Second is we can add to this remembrance by reading up or researching on our heroes deeds, their various facets as person, in order to really appreciate them. I think there is a slippery slope here. There's a challenge, no? When we honor our heroes, or when we look into their lives, initially I glorify them excessively. But at the same time, as time passes by, we encounter contrary data and our information. We somehow have a more balanced, more nuanced view of the role of these heroes, no, in our history, and of their characteristics as human beings who are prone to mistakes, no. What is important is that their deeds have played an important role in the creation of our nation and of the lives of their fellow kababayans. And then also remember that they sacrificed for a cause which at the time had seemed lost but was redeemed eventually, no. Yeah, there. So thank you very much for that question.
Daghang salamat, Professor Jeffrey. So he said about reading and researching about our heroes. So Professor Jeffrey, we would like to ask you, what can you say about our celebration today of the 159th birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom?
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that statement. One, Arcadio Maxilom played an important role, no, in especially in the Filipino-American War, in trying to shore up the revolutionary government against the American invasion. He had organized various units, no, to fight the Americans. And secondly, he also recognized that that Cebu is part of the international community, which is the Philippines. So as I mentioned a while ago, he had communications with President Aguinaldo and with General Antonio Luna, specifying about certain details. And then third, Arcadio Maxilom and his family actually, no, as mentioned in the Battle of Tuburan, sacrificed for the country, no. So he lost many relatives in the Battle of Tuburan, and then some of his brothers were tortured or were imprisoned during the American period. Dr. Resil Mojares had these accounts, no. So the Maxiloms, Arcadio Maxilom included, sought hard, no, suffered and worked hard for the liberation of our country from colonial rule. Unfortunately, he also endured nice experiences as the resistance against the Americans had winded down. Now, for the overall commemoration of Cebuano, we could see that Cebuanos are maisog, no? When they know that they have something to fight for, no, against tremendous odds, they would fight for it, and they would do anything to as long as they can. So they would do anything, no? They do anything to show that they would not be subjugated that easily. In the case of Maxilom, he had surrendered to the Americans because at the time there was no more choice. But history had remembered him because of his role, no, as the chief military leader of the Cebuanos during the Filipino-American War. So thank you very much for that opportunity.
Daghang salamat, Professor Jeffrey. We also thank you for being with us today, even through only the recording of our conversations with you. So we will now have our spoken poetry contestants are now preparing to show their talent, to show their love for Cebu and our hero. And while they are preparing, we would like to present to you, we would like to show you this song written for our heroes and for Cebu. And this song was produced by Pamgras, the Cebu Heritage Hotel in 2018. And this actually won the Cebu Pop Music Festival for 𝗍𝗏 𝗥𝗲𝗃 casting. This was written by Adonis Dorado, a multi-awarded poet, and performed by Acer, a rapper or and also by DJ Dente. She is a karate black belter, and she is also of course, she performed this song, and she was also a runner-up of Miss Talisay. And so this song is entitled 𝗍𝗏𝗃𝗂𝗏. So hugot is tight, tighter than thought, or basta it's tight because it symbolizes, it describes our hero's love for our country, for Cebu. It's 𝗍𝗏𝗃𝗂𝗏. So this is the song. So our contestants for our spoken poetry contest, please prepare. So we present to you 𝗍𝗏𝗃𝗂𝗏.
paminawa, kaning litanya, kabahining bisda kong paghigugma. Para buyag, kasing-kasing kiat, para buyag, abdik pa ni Leon Kilat. Pagpanggaho gahit paspuso sa larsyan, muhumok, igbahog sabaw sa linarang. Humukog ilong, tanalaag tas kulon, at tuon tadapit nga makasaysayon. Lapik sa dila, ugot siya sa pulong, dugan mo siguradong makumong-kumong. Hugot pa suot, hugot pa suot, hugot pa suot.
Bahalag saging, basta labing, bahalag buwan, basta tupad. Bahalag toyo, basta with you, bahalag inamos, basta langgakol. Bahalag hilaw, basta ikaw, bahalag korne, basta perme. Bahalag lanay, basta tanday, bahalag dukot, basta lang hugot. Hugot pa suot, hugot pa suot, kasing-kasing kapuno sa kahimuon. Huot pas hugot, huot pas hugot, ikaw akong forever, wala'y magbuot. Hugot pas huot, hugot pas huot, bisag ipatpad man sa tumang kalimot. Huot pas hugot, hugot pas hugot, sa dalan kulon kita mag-abot. Bahalag tiit basta sikit, bahalag magumos basta lang timos, bahalag muluong basta muhaom, bahalag di makaya basta kita.
Titi kabiyaan, tuura jud na ako, mura General Maxilom ni kon mo plano. Para ni mo mahigpatay ko pareho, sa Cebuanong Katipunerong si Alejo. Maglisod ko kaon, kung di tadungan, ang imong istorya murag musika sa dungan. Bisag kinsa nga babae, di ti ka ilisan, kaya nga akong gugma, solid pa sa Katipunan.
Hugot pas huot, hugot pas huot, kasing-kasing kapuno sa kahimuon. Huot pas hugot, huot pas hugot, ikaw akong forever, wala'y magbuot na. Hugot pas hugot, hugot pas hugot, bisag ipatpad man sa tumang kalimot. Huot pas hugot, huot pas hugot, sa dalan kulon kita mag-abot. Sa dalan kulon kita mag-abot. Sa dalan kulon baya ang sabot.
Daghang salamat for that song and for that video. And of course, walay mapakpak diya. So actually, we're so happy with that song. It was Adonis Dorado who wrote that song after we gave him the concept of the what we want in the song. And then we are so happy with Aser. Aser was the one who did the rap, and he also wrote actually the second part of the rap. And he was the one who wrote that part. Tuura gid nako, murag di ti kabiyaan, tuura gid nako, murag General Maxilom ni kung plano. Para nimo makigpatay ko pareho sa Cebuanong Katipunerong si Alejo, and that's Alejo Minyosa. So kaya akong gugma, solid pa sa Katipunan. But actually someone was telling me, why would his love be more solid than the Katipunan? Could there be a love more solid than the Katipunan? So anyway, that's his version. So we're happy that a young artist, a young rap artist is able to write lines about General Arcadio Maxilom. And actually, it was his first time to know. He knew about the street, General Maxilom's Avenue. But he didn't know what General Maxilom did. So, of course, we're so happy to collaborate with the young artists and them using their talent after knowing about what our heroes did. So, now we would like now to listen to our contestants. But before that, we would like to introduce again our judge who would give us the criteria for judging in our. So we have our multi-awarded poet also, a professor at the Literature and Linguistics Department of the University of San Carlos. And please help me welcome again Professor Cindy Velasquez.
Hello, maayong hapon natin tanan. Hello, ma'am. So for today, we're going to proceed first with the criteria for judging for our contestants. So there will be 3 parts for this. The first part is the delivery and interpretation. It includes the following: mastery of the piece or the literary work, pronunciation, facial expressions, eye contact, and then body gestures. And then on the second part, we will have the content, relevance of the event, which is the contribution and the courage of General Maxilom. And then originality of the literary piece, imagery, poetic language, and lastly, the diction. And then for the third part, which is equivalent to 10%, that will be voice projection and the thematic appreciation of the overall performance. So a total of 100%. So good luck to all the contestants.
Daghang salamat, Professor Cindy. And so we're so excited to listen to our contestants. So there were 8, but only 3 are chosen. Only 3 came. There were 8 who registered, but only 3 came here. So now we would like to call our contestant. His number in our registration was, he is number 6. So we have our contestant number 6. Our first contestant today, but contestant number 6, we have Clark. So please help me welcome, let's give him a round of applause. We have contestant Clark.
Kajut lang ha, kay nakulbaan ko. Kalitan ko. Iklaruhan na to sa TV ani eh.
Zoom out.
Okay naman magbasa, ma'am, no?
So we have our contestant number 6, Clark.
Pakpak sad mo eh.
Pakpak.
Kana ba? Andot kay paminawon.
Oh, pwede ra walay mask. You are far from the audience. You are how many meters? You are 10 meters away from the audience.
Wow. Mayong hapon kaninyo sa mga bisita diha sa Tunga ug sa Luyo. Maayong hapon sad sa ato mga eksperto o hurado. Mubo ra kining akong diskurso. Busa mamaraig ko nga maminaw kamo kay nagkurog ko og nakulbaan sad ko. Kining akong hamubo na diskurso giuluhan di ay og ang katapusang katipunero. Ang katipusang katipunero. Naunsa ba? Abi na ako og si Andres Bonifacio. Mao manggod pirmi gibalik-balik sa sibika nga libro. Ug wala ko mo apil aning contest diri sa Palmgras kay ang premyo lagi libre nga kwarto. Sakto ba ang premyo? Di gyud ko mahibalo. Ug wa ko mo apil aning contest diri gamit ang pinulungang Cebuano, di gyud ko mahibalo. Nga ang katapusang katipunero lumad di ay nga taga Tuburan, Cebu. Ang atong maisog nga si General Arcadio, pakpak sa mo eh. Mao di ay nausap ang pangalan sa Mango Avenue. Pahinungod di ay sa kaisog ni General Arcadio. Unsa ba? Lahi manggod nga general akong namatan og nailhan samtang gadako ko diri sa Sugbo. Ganahan mo mahibalo? Ganahan mo mahibalo kung kung kinsa ang general nga akong mahinumduman diri sa Sugbo? Wala may motubag. General Milling sa Lapu-Lapu. Pasensya'i lang ko ninyo kung mao na akong kaalam og kahibalo. Mao nga nakurat ug mapahitas-on ako nga Cebuano. Samtang gabasa ko sa kaagi ni General Arcadio. Way kurat gayud nga revolusyonaryo, Matuod gayud iyang tumong para sa kaayuhan sa mga Cebuano ug Pilipino. Liman ka sa panahon kaniadto, wala pagoy red horse ug 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Pero kung makikumbati ning atong general sa Sugbo, batok sa mga Kastila ug Amerikano, murag yug si Rambo. Gubat sa 3 de Abril, gira didto sa Pardo, way paglubad ang kaisog ning atong idolo sa Sugbo. Mitahan na lang si Aguinaldo, mitahan na lang si 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Pero pabilin gihapong nagbarog ang atong lideratong si General Arcadio. Liman kag atong namatay siya, balig 4 ka kilometro kuno ang mga tawo nga midangop ug mihatod kaniya sa sementeryo. Imagina, taas panas isumpay nimo ang Iscarrio, Mango ug Jones Avenue. Pinakataas ug pinakadaghang tawo sa kasaysayan sa Pilipino. Malipayong adlaw di ay kanimo, Lodi, General Arcadio. Na proud kog kalit nga Cebuano tungod nimo. Pero karon nga nasayod nako aning istorya nimo sa kasaysayan sa Sugbo, nakahinuklog ko kung unsa kaha ang putahe na paborito ni General Arcadio. Utan Bisaya ba? Kaldereta o adobo? Mao na ingon nga wa gyud ta makabalo kay wala man na apil sa libro. Ato lang gud na ipabilin nga misteryo. Salamat kaayo ninyo.
Daghang salamat to Clark for that poem and that spoken word.
Kaning abiyasa medyo seryoso. Wala ni siya kulapo, wala po ni siya general milling sa Lapu-Lapu. This piece is entitled Maghilom. Ako malipayon nga usa ko kasugbuanon. Dili man ta tantong pution apan gawas na kitang tanan gwapohon o gwapahon ay di na ta magistorya kung kita ba maunungon. Kung atong tan-awon, taas pa ang dalan nga atong agion, apan nagpabilin tang lig-on sa mga hagit sa panahon. Ang kunon nga ang usa ka sugbuanon kung mahigugma pagkalamian nga murag torta sa argaw o roskilyo sa liluan. Ani atong selebrasyon, tagaan natog oras paghinumdom ang mga dekada nga kita sa mga langyaw daog-daogon. Pinoy ang magtanom, apan lahi ang mukaon. Aduna kay baba, apan kinahanglan takumon. Mga pangandoy nga dili nato makabot, og mga syagit nga dili madungog. Apan sa wala pa ko mahuman sa akong pagsugod, timan-i nga mawala man ang kahayag sa leyon nga kilat, apan sundan kini sa kasaba sa dugtog. General Maxilom, pamatuod nga mas delikado ang biktima kung maghilom. Usa ka magtutudlo gikan sa tuburan, nakigpatay alang sa mga kaubang, miadto na sa kaatbang, nawalaan og igsuon, mga butang tanan-tanan, apan ang hinagiban wala niya gibuhian. Lisod yung katumbahon, basta sakto kag gibarugan. Pahinumdom kanato nga angay tang magpasalamat ni ining kagawasan nga atong gitagamtam o pahinumdom pug ko ni nila nga walay sugbuan nung magpakaulipon sa kaugalingong kayutaan. Pasalamatan nato silang tanan, mga bayani nga wala mo talikod sa kalisdanan. Apan karon sa inyuhang mga binuhatan, sa atuang mga binuhatan, sigurado ba kita nga angayantang pakamatyan? Daghang salamat.
Oh. Daghang salamat, John. So John Lawrence poem. So we express our regret to those who are watching us from the different parts of the Philippines who cannot understand Cebuano. It was a very beautiful poem also by John about our how the Cebuano loves. The Cebuano loves like pareha kalami sa torta sa Argao. It's just the Cebuano loves. O saan pag in English sa lami? As yummy? So, the love of a Cebuano is as yummy and as tasty as the torta of Argao. And of course, and he was saying about, are we, sa to last nimo, angayan batang, are we worth dying for right now? So that's the question from the spoken word of Jan. So, and last but not the least, our last contestant, contestant number 3 in our registration form, we have Rojet. So is Rojet around? So he sent his video. He's not here personally, so I don't know if this if this qualifies, because our supposedly everyone should be on site, but
Sama-sama nating ipagpunyi. Ikaw ay bulong-bulong KKK sa sana. Karungan, kausayan, at katakilaan ang iyong naipula, karunungan na ibahagi ang iyong gintong diwa, naging ulirang guro sa bayan mong pinagpala sa bisig ng iyong pluma at mga aral na naipinatalima upang ang kabataan ay may kinabukasang maipamamana, kausayan na ni Leong Kilat bilang general na nakibaka, dugot pawis ang iyong naging sandata, determinasyon, misyon at kolaborasyon ang iyong naging sandigan laban sa Espanya. O pagkat nag-aalam ang iyong puso sa tuburan mong kinalinga at kadakilaan na naging mahusay na general at mapagkawang gawa, hindi nagpalinlang sa mga Amerikano at kasunduang Paris na malala, sumukuman hindi para maging buhaya, kundi nagmalasakit, nagparahaya at pinortektahan ang kababayan at kapwa. Namatay man sa pagkakalumpo, ngunit buhay na buhay pa rin ang iyong makukulay na mga alaala, isang dakilang bayaning Cebuano. Yan muna, bababa na ang sayo, ang wagas, nakataas-taasan, kagalang-galangan, ang katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan o General Arcadio Maxilom Bolero, mabuhay ka!
Daghang salamat, Rojet, for that performance, for that video. So I just don't know if this qualifies in our mechanics. But then thank you for that. It's a very good also poem for our hero, a tribute for our hero, General Arcadio Maxilom. So now we would like stay tuned for our trivia quiz with prizes. And also, we would also like to have to invite you to watch our raffle draw for those who are sad and tag Pamgrass, and they will be having a birthday treat. It is the birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom, but our followers who are sad will be treated to this full body massage of Binisayang Hilot. So we would now like to have our message from a descendant. So we are so happy that we have with us a descendant of General Arcadio Maxilom. We have with us, for her message, 𝗃𝗏𝗃 Maxilom, Season. Napasikan? Wala pa? So we would like to have Miss 𝗃𝗏𝗃 Season to give her very short actually message regarding our celebration today. So Miss 𝗃𝗏𝗃 is also a singer. When she was here, when we had our 𝗝𝗂𝗄 𝗥𝗲𝗄 event for a tribute for the birthday of General Maxilom, she actually sang two very beautiful Cebuano classic songs.
Maayong hapon na tong tanan. In behalf sa uban akong mga relatives nga wala kaari dire tungod lagi sa atong sitwasyon sa pandemic, no? Ang ako lang ikasulti nga every event regarding ni General Arcadio Maxilom, dili gid mi makalimtan ni Miss A, no? Salamat ko ana unya. Pareha ko ninyo nga kay I never grew up in Tuburan, pero I was born in Tuburan, pero diri gyud ko nagdako. Just like you, first time gyud wala gyud ko'y kalibutan regarding aning history sa akong apuhan, great-grandfather. But just today, as I was listening to Mariver Maxilom Montibon, karon pa ko nakahibaw nga close ni may pagka-relative guy. She was talking about my other first degree cousin who's also living in Germany, and I understand that she's in New York, based in New York. Pasalamat gyud ko nga usa ka event ang Cebu Heritage Hotel naghimo og usa ka event like this, not only pasindunggan si General Arcadio Maxilom, but as well the other Katipuneros like Leon Kilat ug uban pa natong mga Filipino heroes or Cebuano heroes nga naa sa atong Philippine history. And for that, I would like to congratulate Miss A and all the staff sa Cebu Heritage for doing such a very noble purpose, no? So nakaingon ko na maybe this is one way nga masuportaan pagyud nato ang Pamgrass or Cebu Heritage Hotel to know more about, to encourage labi na gyud ang youth, to encourage more about our Filipino heroes, Cebuanon heroes, what they did for a cause nga kita gawas no na karon. So maybe we can, right after going home, makahuna-huna ta nga unsay atong ma-contribute nga atong mapalambo or atong mapahibaloa ang mga tanan mga kabaton-unan kay mumay giingon nga ang ato ang mga batan-on maoy ato ang future leaders. So ato lang tingali nga the least we can do is to let our children know more about our Cebuanon heroes. In that way, we can help Cebu Heritage Hotel and Pamgrass Hotel nga to go on with their cause, ang ilang advokasya na dili gyud mawala ang history sa atong mga Cebuanon nga mga heroes. Diha dapita murag Sakto na tingali to. Kaya, mura na yung short nga medyo taas-taas na.
Daghang salamat.
Daghang salamat po.
Daghang salamat to the descendant of General Arcadio Maxilom for celebrating with us and his birthday today, the 159th birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom. So now we would like to have this raffle draw of this because it is the birthday of General Maxilom. So we would are we still on mute? So are we okay now? So so now we would like to have this raffle draw. There are so many, about 9 sad 𝗵𝗃𝗃 followers who tag 𝗵𝗃𝗃 that they are sad. So we would like to have a raffle draw for them. So we have Kalay. We have Kalay who is sad because her body hurts of always lying down. So, and then I'm super duper sad. Zilga is sad because for her, the best therapy is taking a break from routine. And then Aris is sad because wala akong jowa. So Aris is sad because wala siyang jowa. And then we have also Orland who is also sad. William who is sad and because so sad and stressed out because of all these modules and paperworks. And Tony is sad because I need a midwife and to go to midwife, sure? Midwife yang gisulti. So I need a massage and for my blood circulation and blood flow. And then Jericho is sad because narong ni auto-translate di siya because his wife is gipamaulan ko do has kanang murag na auto-translate to English niya gipamaulan yang asawa. And then Norgel is sad because she needs a whole body massage and accommodation at 𝗵𝗃𝗃. And Naomi is sad because she doesn't know where her husband and baby. Sani, my hubby and husband are sad. And then John Raymond is also sad. So we have the koan for this. So the prize for this is we will have 3. So 2 will have foot massage, hilot sa tiil. So the first 2 that I will pick will have hilot sa tiil for them not to be sad anymore during this birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom. So our first hilot sa tiil winner who is hoping he will no longer be sad because of this. So we have William de Gracia. So a round of applause for William de Gracia. He will have hilot sa tiil. He is the one who is sad because of all the modules. So our second hilot sa tiil winner, he gets hilot sa tiil. She gets a hilot sa tiil. We have Naomi Pavo. So she is sad because of she doesn't know where her husband at that time when she was making the caption. And then of course our grand winner for the I'm sad raffle is and this one, Kalay. Kalay, congratulations. She is super duper sad because her body hurts because of always lying down, taking a break. Kapoy kuno kaayo si gighigda. So monang nasad siya. So you will no longer have, you will still lie down because you will have hilot binisaya, a full body massage with 5 hours room stay at our 𝗲𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃. So congratulations to Kalay for winning our I'm Sad raffle draw. So now we have our trivia quiz. So everyone, would you like to, for everyone, to those who are here physically on site, we have our microphone here for the first one who will answer. So our first question, our prize for this question is a food for heroes meal with 𝗏𝗿𝗃𝗃𝗏 Maxilom. But actually, we will be eating that after this event. So is our 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 set, Nigo set ready for after when we're done? So we have our Food for Heroes meal for the first one who is able to answer this question. So the question is this. May we show our question? Give the question. So this is the question. Give the the location, the mountain, or the location of the headquarters of the Cebu Katipuneros in the war against Spain and the United States. And the prize for this is Food for Heroes meal. Stay tuned for our Facebook Live viewers. You will also have a question for you after this question. So the first one to answer will be the first. So who wants to answer? So we have you raise your hand because you will be answering through our microphone here. So we have our congratulations to William from Francis. and then so who wants to answer? Grabe kining mga taga-kultura sa sige. Sige, we will have the veteran from the descendant of a World War II veteran. So this is what's gani name? Ha? Manuel. So we have Manuel. What's your answer, Manuel?
Sudlon.
Sudlon, congratulations. You win 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Maxilom Food for Heroes dish. So our next question is you will all answer through the comment section of the Facebook Live page. So we have our question, our second question. So the one who would win this would win a 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 budol fight with the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Maxilom dish, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Maxilom. So the question is this. So you answer through the comment section of the Facebook Live, either at Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel page, or at the National Quincentennial Committee page. So this is now the question. This is the question. This is a very easy question. What is the exact date of the birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom? What you will win a 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 ni Maxilom or budol fight with 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 ni Maxilom. What is the exact date of the birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom? So who is able to answer this question? The first one to answer the question. So, hapit kuyod Clark. Hapit. So, Clark, hapit lang. Wa maapil sa pag-study. So, Clark really studied about General Maxilom. He missed the date. So, we have our and then 19 pa rin, 1962 ha? so who wants to answer? So those on Facebook Live, so you all answer through the Facebook Live. So the comment section of the Facebook Live, what is the exact date of so why pabor ang naka-answer is of course the descendant of General Arcadio Maxilom, Teresita Sison. So November. Wala na may una di ay. Someone else was first. Murag na nauna. So ato din lang ning give chance to others. So kinsa ning naunang ni answer? Kisay una sa inyo? Who was the first sa inyo diha? Si Lawrence mo first. So you show ko no, si ay first, not Teresita, no? There was someone else who was first to answer before Clark, no? Before Clark, Lawrence was able to answer. So sorry kayo Teresita, but we will still be eating 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 ni Maxilom after this. So for those who are here on site, so this is the benefit of being on site because we're able to eat the food at Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. So the one who won is the trivia quiz for the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 ni Arcadio Maxilom. So you will be able to avail this when you come to Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. So congratulations to Lawrence. So take note na nato yang name, no? So congratulations to Lawrence. So thank you also for the answer to Dan Allen, and also of course to Clark. to Nilian. So thank you for the answer. Correct imong answer, Nilian. Thank you for the answer. So now we would like to invite you again to our upcoming events. This November 20, we are calling all grade 7 to 12 students in Cebu to join the extemporaneous speech contest at the 500 years of Cebuano heroism and the 159th birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom. So there will be an extemporaneous speech contest with our judges, Attorney Ian Manticahon from the University of the Philippines Mass Communications Department. We have heritage architect 𝗝𝗏𝗃𝗶𝗃 as one of the judges. She was also a former TV newscaster of GMA7 of the news at GMA7, and we have also broad TV and radio broadcaster Leo Simosa as one of the judges. We have also Dr. Hope Yu, of the director of the Cebuano Studies Center, as one of the judges, and we have the chair of the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, Dr. Rene Escalante, as also one of the judges. So the Cebu-based judges would be here on site, even if our extemporaneous speech contestants would be virtual, would be joining virtually. And of course, if people would want, or if some contestants would want to come here, it's also okay with us if they want to come. But we have the different divisions. This contest is in partnership with the Department of Education Region 7. So of course, we want our young people, the children, the grade schoolers, to know more about our hero, General Arcadio Maxilom. That is why we have partnered with the Department of Education Region 7 and other institutions in this contest. So this will be on November 20, and that will be next Saturday. And then this November 28, we invite you to an on-site, a physical jungle survival workshop with Camp Red. This is an organization, this is a guild which has the goal of promoting or preserving Cebu heritage. And so the jungle survival workshop would be on November 28. And so we will learn how the ancient Visayan survived in forests. And on November 30, we will have the event to celebrate the birthday of our hero, Andres Bonifacio, and there will also be, so this would be Manggugubap, celebrating Andres Bonifacio at 158 and the 500 years of Visayan heroism, with also a physical exhibit of the traditional blades in Visayas, Mindanao, and Luzon, and also a panel discussion on the traditional blades in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And now we would like to announce the winners of our spoken poetry contest. So our third and second prize winners or consolation, or third and second placers would be able to win a gift certificate at Palmgrass de Cebu Heritage Hotel. So they have a gift certificate for food and drinks at Palmgrass de Cebu Heritage Hotel. So our third prize, pwede na to sila ipabarog dire. So unsa man ni napa ni crowning, wala ni crowning no. So unsa man yatong ihatag nila, congratulations lang, take a picture. Natay certificate for the winner? Wala. Yes? So kisay mo award, ikaw lang Chris? So our third placer. So we have our contestants. Can we show them? We will show them on social and with physical distancing, and on our so kana makita silang duhasad. So 1 meter apart. Okay ra. So we have our third placer who will win a gift certificate of food and drinks at Palmgrass. We have our third placer. Congratulations to Rojet Sarasa, the one on video. Congratulations to Rojet. So this is, so we would also, after this announcement, we would like to, or before the announcement, we would like to have the comments. So sa third plato no, we will have the comments from our judge. Is she still around? Wala na siya. So did she leave a comment? So she said she thank you very much, and then continue. And our judge says that thank you very much. Continue with your love for Cebuano culture. So congratulations from her. So of course, so we have naagid ang second and first prize winners dire sa kaning nagbarog sa inyong atubangan. So we have our second and first prize winners of our spoken word contest, our spoken poetry contest. So our first prize winner, our second prize winner. Kung sa unahon na pagtawag, second or ang first? So, bisag asa lang. So musunod na no kung kinsay first mo na to second ang usa. So congratulations to our winner of our spoken poetry contest. We have first prize winner, congratulations, John. And congratulations to second prize winner, Clark. So Clark will win a gift certificate of food and drinks, and John will win an overnight stay. So ang libre nga kwarto sa 𝗝𝗲𝗂𝗏𝗃 sa kwarto nga ginganlan ni Arcadio. So sa floor sa andana, so ang kwarto kinahanglan nga ang nadaog ni John nga kwarto, ang kwarto nga ginganlan nga gipahinungod kang Arcadio sa ikaunom nga andana sa Palmgrass sa Cebu Heritage Hotel. Congratulations for your talent, and congratulations for showing your love for Cebu through your talent. So daghang salamat. We would now like to have the closing statement from our panelists. So Marivere, our panelist who is based in New York, says that she has to go to sleep. Thank you, and more power. God bless Tancadyo and all steadfast people. So this is the message from the relative of General Arcadio Maxilom, also an author of a book on Cebu history. Thank you very much, Marivere, for giving us your time. So we have also a closing statement from our history faculty from the University of the Philippines Los Baños, and this is from Professor Jeffrey Asuncion, and this is his message.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank the audience for attending Congress celebration, and also of remembering in general General Arcadio birthday. It is heartwarming to know that Filipinos are the other personalities that have played important roles in the revolution and in the Filipino-American War. And General Maxilom's birthday is one good opportunity appreciation.
So, daghang salamat, Professor Jeffrey, and daghang salamat to everyone who is here. Thank you for celebrating with us the 159th birthday of General Arcadio Maxilom. Of course, we will be having another celebration this December, on December 29 for the freedom, our Pasko sa Kagawasan, and Pasko sa Kagawasan sa pandemya on December 29, where you will be able to hear our 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 Street Children's Choir sing a song, the national anthem, and we will also be unveiling a wood sculpture of General Arcadio Maxilom and a video on General Arcadio Maxilom. So stay tuned for this. We hope you will be with us again in our next events this November 20, November 28, and November 30. In December, we will be celebrating also our Teatro 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 on December 16. That was on that day, the first play at the old Teatro 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏, the first theater in Cebu, was shown or was performed. So daghang salamat to everyone who is here, and to all our audience, our online audience who are still with us right now. To our partners, we would like to thank the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, the National Quincentennial Committee, the Cebu Normal University Elite Society or Literature Society, the University of San Carlos Political Science Department, University of San Carlos Carolinian Political Science Society, USC Law and Governance, Museo Sugbo, Central Visayas Association of Museums, Diandi Heritage Center, SOAN 2020. Daghang salamat og malipayong So we have our kagawasan cupcakes with the colors of the Katipunan flag here. So this is the snacks here at Pamgras sa Hawanan 3 de Abril. So we would like to show you our videos as we end our celebration. Daghang salamat.
Señor Arcadio Maxilom, nagkako nagtubo sa Katipunan, nahimong usa ka magtutudlo, usa na abot na nahimong usa ka katipunero. Nahimo siyang pangulo sa mga katipuneros, nahimo siyang usa ka general, no, natong 1898 sa pagtula namin General Leon Kira. So nahimong importante siya sa among mga sa mga Tuburano, nahimo siyang instrumento sa kausaban o ibon man kagawasan sa atong mga kaigsuonan. Labi na yun, o ingon usab dako na itong karbo sa mga Pilipino ingon man sa Cebu, kagumad siya na taga.
Mayong adlaw, I am Chef Kate, and today I will be showing to you how to make Cebuano or local dishes. Our dishes are named after Cebuano heroes.
It's very good. It's nice.
Yes, yes.
It's soft. It's tender. There's sweetness to it.
Mm-hmm.